to coast.
Welcome to curling country, Saskatoon, Saskatchewan, and it's been a big part of Rick Folk's life. Rick Folk won the 1980 Brier while representing Saskatchewan, and his home club that year is where we are here, the Nutana Curling Club in Saskatoon. Pat Ryan is Folk's third. He won 2 Brier titles as a skip for Alberta, and where he won his second in '89, Saskatchewan Place in Saskatoon. Yeah, this prairie city has been very kind to Folk and Company. Kevin Martin, boy, he's accomplished so much in what is still a very young curling career. He broke onto the national scene in 1985 as Canadian Junior Champion, represented his country a year later at the World Juniors. And then in 1991, he captured the National Men's Championship, winning the Brier in Hamilton, Ontario. And then we saw him last March when he led his team to a win in the WCT Championship. Now he's a McCain Superspiel West champion after a win over Ed Lukowicz, and into this year's McCain TSN Skins Game. Last season, he was the most dominant team in curling. He and third, Pat Ryan, led BC to a Brier championship. Folk, Ryan, second, Bert Gretzinger, lead, Jerry Richard, then went on to Germany. And it was there that they captured the world. For Folk, it was his second world championship. But now he's back home in Saskatoon, and that hoping that home will be sweet home. Our second semifinal will feature $17,250 in total prize money. We start out at $1,000, finish with $3,750 in the 10th end. The reigning Canadian and world champion Rick Folk goes against the 1991 Canadian champion. It's Rick against Kevin, Folk against Martin here in Saskatoon. Welcome to Saskatoon in the 1994 McCain TSN Skins Game from the Nutana Curling Club. The 1994 McCain TSN Skins Game is brought to you by McCain Foods, Canada's international food leader. Hello again, everyone, and welcome back to the Nutana Curling Club here in Saskatoon and TSN's continuing coverage of this 1994 McCain TSN Skins Game as we get set for the second semi-final. Folk against Martin, the winner to play Ed Wernick in Sunday's final after Wernick disposed of the 3-time defending champion Russ Howard by just $250. It may be unfair to say this is the old guard against the new guard, but certainly Folk has been a dominant name along with Ryan for the last 10 years or so, while Martin has the potential of being a dominant team through the rest of this decade and maybe even into the turn of the century. It's quite interesting to make note as well, before this all began, that a lot of the teams, all of them, Wernick, Martin, Howard, all wanted to play Rick Folk. I wonder why, Linda.
Well, Vic, one reason is, although he's a Canadian and world champion, Rick Folk's team is not known as the big Cashfield Circuit winner. They haven't done that well this year on the Cashfield Circuit either. And so although they come in with great credentials, especially with Pat Ryan joining them at third and being called the dream team in BC, they really haven't shown their stuff and also haven't shown their stuff here in Skins. However, they're a solid team, and I think they'd like to get that reputation back. And the one thing I can tell you, I have never seen Rick Folk miss a cute, quiet draw shot. Ray, what do you think about Martin?
Well, I think Kevin Martin, it's a different team than we saw in '91 when they won the Canadian Championship, went on to lose the World to David Smith. They're a much more mature team, Lyndon. I think that Rick Folk will have his hands full today with Kevin Martin. Kevin's also anxious to prove to the world that he can play all the soft game. He was accused of being just a hitter, and he's not just a hitter. He's a complete curler.
So when we come back to the Nutana Curling Club in Saskatoon, Martin and Folk will play for $17,250. It's semifinal number 2 of the McCain TSN Skins game.
I'll call. Hello?
Hi. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas.
I love you too, Dad.
Can Amigo at these fine stores.
Super crisp, super spirals. McCain, what have you done to my fries?
We've spiced them up.
All right.
We've crisped them up.
Brilliant.
We've even curled them up.
Excellent.
McCain has taken its famous super fries, dipped them in light batter, and surrounded them with bite after bite of crispy, crunchy, super spicy satisfaction. Straight ahead or curled around. Super crisps and super spirals from McCain. You'll love what we've done to your fries.
When they saw the first fiberglass skis or the first graphite tennis racket, some people laughed.
They'll never laugh.
And when some people first saw the hammer, they had the same reaction.
Get serious. Where's the straw?
Then, two-time Canadian and world champions Ed Wernick and Russ Howard chose the hammer.
The quick-change faceplates provide greater control under all types of ice conditions.
The hammer is the most effective sweeping device I've ever used.
Now who's laughing? For more information, call 1-800-567-7757.
So I'm channel surfing when it occurs to me, I wouldn't mind hitting one of those fashion TV shows in Paris. You know, I'd find out what's in, find out what's out. That'd be cool. And who knows, maybe someone over there would appreciate the enduring qualities of a true Canadian lager. Hey, trendy colors come and go. Me, I prefer blue.
If you're going to win the money, going to win the skin, you have to do it this way, with Last Rock, 2 or more points, or stealing the end. Planking an end, not like the conventional game, you lose Last Rock. Money not won, we carry it over. And it's the team with most money, not the points, who wins. Each team has 67 minutes to complete their 10 ends. They also have 3 one-minute timeouts, and we're playing the free guard zone, the 3-rock rule. And as we saw in the first semifinal, this ice is good, but it's tricky, Ray.
Well, the short man made this ice, Shorty Jenkins, so it's excellent ice, Vic. But this afternoon we saw a little bit of a ridge that ran right down this area here. Now, if you got on the outside of it, the rock would run fairly straight. If you got on the inside of it, it would break quickly. And a little bit of problem. The same was true on this side, especially cutting in the home. Outside, it would hold, then break. On the inside, break big time. I'll just clear that for a moment. Shorty Jenkins went to work in between the games, and he thinks that ridge is gone. So you'll see lots of movement. To get to the button, this area here, and it is a race to the button when you talk about the skins format, you'll be taking ice in this area here. Same on the other turn. Look for a very, very late finish. You'll be holding the broom in this area here. The ice is running about 24.5 from the hog line to the tee line. So it's nice and quick, and the rocks are sensational.
Well, there you see the 2 skips. Rick Folk on the left, and we'll meet his team first from the Kelowna Curling Club. Rick Folk, the 44-year-old 2-time Canadian and world champion. Pat Ryan is his 3rd. Bert Gretzinger is the 2nd, and the lead is Jerry Richard from the Kelowna Curling Club. From the Otwell Curling Club in Edmonton, on the left is their skip, Kevin Martin. Kevin Park is the third. James Paul throws second stones, and the lead is Don Bartlett. And as I say, from the Otwell Curling Club in Edmonton, Alberta. And Rick Folk, by virtue of being the second-seeded team after a draw to the button this morning, has elected to take the hammer, last stone in this first end, as we play for $1,000. And to get us going, this is the Martin lead, Don Bartlett.
Just to mention, our viewers at home probably wondered why we didn't talk about the movement from the center line to the 12-foot, Linda. But it really hasn't been a factor under this format. You see so little play to the 12-foot. In a normal game of curling with the free guard zone rule, you'll see lots of movement to the 12-foot. But under the skins format, usually the play is from the middle of the 8-foot to the 4-foot. If you're wondering how it moves to the edges, it moves very consistently the same way. You take about the button, center ice to get to the middle of the 8-foot.
And now you'll see another thing about the skins format. Yes, the play comes to the center, and yes, it's very aggressive. When the other team has a stone in play, you try to utilize that stone as best you can. So Rick Folk is just tapping back this Martin rock, hoping that'll provide some backing and make his stone difficult to remove.
A couple of choices he had, of course, Linda. He could go up and play the corner guard and try and get something going on the edges, but with that rock sitting right on the button, you're best to tap it back, and that's that tap-back method that you like to feature in your curling, Vic. Keep those rocks in the back of the 12-foot, making it difficult for the opposition to remove your stones, hoping for the jab.
Martin, without last rock, can pick up the skin by stealing. Folk, remember, needs 2 points.
You do feature that still, do you not? Are you still not using that tap-back theory?
Yeah, it's just tap-back, yeah. It's make contact first.
Yeah, that's true with all of us.
Yeah, I think the Russian judge would give this dive a 5.9. Don Bartlett wanted to say hello to his parents back home in Gander, Newfoundland. Yeah. Move it in. Back 8.
Well, they're having a look at this outturn. As Ray was mentioning, this was a straight spot, and these two teams had the advantage of watching this sheet of ice when the other semifinal was being played, and I know Rick was a little concerned, and I think he wanted to have a look at it himself. Looked like it moved about as he expected.
It'll be interesting to see if they play a little cautious for a few ends, because the two teams this afternoon, Wernick and Howard, of course, have had so much skins experience, and these teams have not played a lot of skins, and so it'll be interesting to see if they just play a little bit cautious to start with. We saw some great shots this afternoon. Those two teams have unbelievable games against each other. Wants to keep that rock in play if he can. Kevin, of course, wants it out of there. Just a little too strong.
Same weight's good.
James Paul, his second stone. Both these teams have appeared in just one previous TSN Skins game.
All right.
Rick Folk was in the very first, Ray, remember back at Newmarket Arena back in 1986. And he won just $1,000 that year with his 1980 World Championship team.
Here's the call for Bert Gretzinger. Rick has walked up. He's now calling the corner guard. Because the stone is way back in the 12-foot, he's calling the corner guard here.
But the thought, Linda, is just not so dangerous back there, is that it?
It's actually useful for them. Yeah. Perhaps later they could freeze to it, but the better way to try and establish 2 points is to get a corner guard up and try and tuck around it, especially with the ice being nice and swingy. And you'll see Kevin Martin will try and get rid of that rock because he does know it's dangerous.
But they don't really peel very well, do they, Dick? This team can peel as well as any team you'll ever see.
If I remember correctly, it was Kevin and Jeff Stout.
Hamilton. That's right, the Hamilton Briar. That's Kevin made that great draw for 2 in the first end. Go up 2-0, and Jeff Stoughton tried absolutely everything possible to get a front rock up, and they ran him right out of rocks. It was 2-0 coming home.
Pat Ryan and his first stone here in the first end. $1,000 skin is the prize.
They'll try a corner on the other side of the sheet with Pat playing the intern. And because they're on their third last stone, they're going to play into the rings. Martin's not going to try and run off the corner.
Once again, nice clean releases. Kevin Parks throws it as well as anybody. Nice and high in his delivery. Good body control. Stone that's so important in the game. The nice clean release gives the opportunity, of course, to read the ice properly. Here are good mechanics. High in his delivery. Nice clean release. Perfect balance. This is a little different. This is your tuck delivery. Still a nice clean release by Pat.
Hey, line's good. Line's good. Breathe. Oh, you need slide. Keep it. Good. Breathe. Breathe. Clean it. Clean it. Yeah. Breathe. Breathe. Sorry.
Great weight. Just curled a little too much. Against Kevin Martin, to make that particular move work, you have to freeze it absolutely perfect because he can squeeze it out. You watch the weight, he'll step this up. And he throws his big weight so well. This is his out turn, and he throws it very straight. Sometimes on the in turns, he'll put them inside out. But when they're coming that fast, it doesn't really matter. They don't touch the ice,
That's
you know?
right. He moves everything.
They went through all the growing pains that young teams go through, you know, have a lot of early success. And they're now a very mature team with great attitudes. And very anxious to prove that they're one of the best teams in the country. No problem.
Well, Martin quoted today in one of the papers saying, look, you know, we've grown up. We're older now. There used to be a time when curling dominated our lives. It's still very important, but there are other things now in our lives, and maybe that's the balance. You just
ran down there nice, eh?
Well, I think that's one of the things that makes it so entertaining especially for the three of us and for anyone that's involved with the game, is that you know, you have your life and your wife and your family and all those things that are so important in your lives, and you don't let the game itself choke you. You're playing the game for the pleasure of the sport, and obviously for, in this case, a lot of money. But I think you'll agree, Vic, that we run into very few prima donnas when it comes to this sport.
No, very few. Rick Folk.
Well, I mentioned that I've watched this team play a lot, and I have never seen Rick Folk miss a big draw. He'll play a lot of ends to go for the big draw with his last shot to set up the end. And so this format is good for him. He'll take chances with last rock, hoping that with his last one he can at least have a carryover. And there's a nice tap back. That's what he called. He's hoping he'd get a jam from Kevin Martin.
So having said that, remember what you said this afternoon with regards to John Kawaj, and you thought a key for Ed Werenich was Kawaj being able to keep the 4 foot open for Ed Wernick. Does the same thing apply then to Pat Ryan and keeping the forfeit open for Rick Folk?
Yeah, it's very similar, actually. And Pat, as we know, also has a tremendous hitting game. So if they are in a bit of trouble after second stones, Pat can do a little bit of cleaning up, and then it's up to Rick to follow through and try and finish it off with his rocks.
Yep, clean. Hurry. Start. Clean, clean, good. Oh.
So Rick Folk with his final stone here in the first end will look to draw a full 8-foot for a carryover of $1,000. And interesting, comes back to that first stone that Don Bartlett put on the button. If it's anywhere else, this end may not develop the way it has.
No, if it had been a front rock, you may have seen a lot different end, that's for sure.
Or even back. I mean, even if it wasn't on the button, if it was...
Well, he would have gone right to the corner guard then, that's right. And Kevin wouldn't have been able to run it off because we're playing under the free guard zone rule. Good point, Vic.
So looking to force the carryover. Jerry Richard is the brush right beside the stone. Bert Bretzinger out in front. Here comes Pat Ryan. Now they need Foley. Foley. And there it is. So we'll carry over the $1,000 from this first end. We'll add $1,000 in end number 2. Last rock will belong to this man, Kevin Martin. He'll need to score 2 to take the skin.
Today's telecast brought to you in part by Air Canada. Air Canada is proud to bring you from here to there and places in between. And by Cantel's Amigo, the first cellular phone to bring you affordable peace of mind.
What tire do you trust in the wet? The tire that removes over 2 gallons of water per second from under the tread. The Wet Traction MX4. Another engineering splash from Michelin.
Hurlers, with the Hammer broom, you will never lose a shot to a hair or straw again.
Every curler has had a good shot ruined by straw or push broom hair. The Hammer eliminates debris and creates increased friction for better results.
The Hammer's easy to change faceplates suit different ice conditions.
The Hammer is the cleanest, most effective sweeping device our team has ever used.
For the location of a store near you, call 1-800-567-7757.
Snack attack, snack attack.
Looks like a job for Captain Nibbler.
Packs of 5 singles, 2 McCain cheese nibblers, good for you. Zap that snack attack, everyone agrees. Nothing tastes quite like real cheese.
Your whole family will love the delicious, nutritious taste of McCain Cheese Nibblers, the satisfying snack that comes in all their favorite varieties.
Zap that snack attack, pick a pack today. McCain cheese nibblers, what do you say?
Zap that snack attack.
The Michelin XH4 tire comes with a 130,000-kilometer tread wear guarantee. That's 3 times around the world. A long way, no matter what circles you travel in.
This December, your game's on TSN. NFL football. Got it. Curling. Here. Heroes. Plenty. Basketball. Oh, yeah. Figure skating. The best. Lots more. Golf. We'll be there. The whole year. Right here. Hockey. Tons. They're all here. This December, TSN.
In today's other semifinal, it was a $6,000 skin in the 8th end to put Ed Wernick over the top to beat Russ Howard.
Well, what a great shot it was, Dick. He had to make a double here. Absolutely a perfect call by John Kawaja. He lined it up. He had it all the way. It was a team effort. Eddie threw it perfectly. They judged it perfectly, and it was brushed perfectly. And it was, all the marbles were on the deck right there.
Russ Howard won the last 2 skins, and the final total was Ed Wernick, 8,750. Russ Howard, 8,500. So the difference, $250. But it was that 8th end and 6,000 that put Wernick over the top and into the final against either Kevin Martin or Rick Folk as we go to the second end. A $2,000 skin available. Martin with last rock. He'll have to score 2.
Now that rock in the free guard zone area cannot be removed from play. You can chip it, you can move it over, you can push it around, but you can't take it out of play. Kevin Martin will go around it.
So we'll have a look at this spot that was a bit of trouble earlier and see, Ray, if Shorty was able to get rid of the ridge.
There was a ridge right down there where it stayed straight. Finished very, very fast. It's just maybe a touch strong.
Great line, though. Great line to the button. It's just a little bit deep.
Martin with the hammer needs a deuce. And Folk, of course, needs to steal to win the skin here.
Jerry Richard.
And as a lead, you have to note with these stones that being a little bit light is better. You don't want to come down to that stone and tap it. A little bit short of it's okay, or near to it, but you don't want to be deep, or it just throws the advantage back to the opponent.
Something you don't see very often with brushing is that the two brushers on the same side, Vic, but you've got to remember that Pat Ryan has been a skip for a lot of his career and didn't do a lot of front-end playing, and so it's sometimes you can teach yourself, though, to brush on either side. You should teach yourself to brush on either side, as a matter of fact. When the two brushers are on the same side, it really forces the front brusher up so far that he's not just as effective as he would be if he was on the other side. Well, we have a chance to look at this out turn now, too, Linda. He's taking just the ice, brush is being held just past the middle of the 8-foot. The shaded area, of course, the yellow area is the edge of the 4-foot. Really got to finish here, but to get to that rock in the 4-foot.
I don't think I moved it, kid.
Oh, yeah. Corner freeze.
For this?
Corner freeze, maybe?
Ooh.
All right. Yeah, it looks like a jam, that shot.
Yeah, does to me too, Kevin. Just a freeze.
James Ball.
And with this one, the position is important. You don't want to line the two stones up so that it would drive back onto the shot stone. They're calling out that it's heavy. That's why they're trying to get it by now.
Right back.
Doesn't want to leave a double. Good call by Kevin, because if that stops about another foot shorter, the double's there. Put Rick in a position to lie 2. Can see about half of the stone. Half of his black stone, and he's going to try and tap it up.
Good. How's your line? Better wait, better line. I got the room. Sitting there. Not moving. Pumping, yeah.
It's got a little bit extra weight as well.
We saw in the first semifinal between Howard and Wernick, the extra weight is awfully critical in terms of finish.
If you ask for top 8-foot weight or top 4-foot weight or back 8-foot weight, whatever it may be, you have to throw it. Ice is so critical.
How's the weight? Okay, hurry. Short. Through. Off if you can. Stay close. Yep.
Raise to the 4 foot.
Okay, good. Oh.
Oh, beautiful shot.
Absolutely gorgeous by James Paul. And so Kevin Martin has his 2 in. If he can keep them there, he'll pick up the $2,000 skin.
See it again here. He hits it perfect. The only thing is now that the rock that he raises right here, the shot here, goes to the 4 foot, and it's in a position where if you hit the black one, hit your own sort of Rick hits his own stone, he can hit it onto that stone. He's playing just to tap it back. He can now afford to hit it a little bit on the wide side, Linda.
Yeah, that's right. If they're a little bit heavy and happen to rub that one, they can rub it onto the yellow. They're having trouble getting the line on this, though. Here it comes now.
This is what I was talking about, though. So you'll catch the back of it. Great shot.
Quickly takes away those 2 Martin stones, and now Folk in a position to steal.
Well, we saw in the earlier game that as the game progressed, more and more swing was happening in this spot, and it curled nicely at the end, so they would get in and touch that shot stone and stay in their button area.
Here's the raise again.
Kevin Park.
You got it right away.
I was having a look to see if that hole is big enough to make some damage.
Put up a top.
Gonna play the guard.
Second stone for Pat Ryan. His first was a perfect raise to the button.
Oh, easy.
Through.
Oh, easy. Yeah.
Through.
Yeah. Get on, Bert.
Well, they wanted to roll a little bit to block off that raise, the Yellowstone.
Actually, the best thing that could happen to him right there tonight, I think, is for touching the outside black one, rolled it over, and now that the raise is not there, as you mentioned. That's a good look at it right there.
Back onto this yellow.
You like that? I kind of like, I like getting out of this thing. Yeah.
Well, how are we going to do it, though?
I was kind of thinking like this.
Boy, that's awful thin.
Yeah. I'm kind of worried about this 4 stone. You can make something good.
Well, this double. This one just off the nose.
Yeah, we might be able to get that 4 going too, eh?
Doesn't do us a whole lot of good, I
No.
don't think. This is the one that hurts. Sure it does.
Oh. Yeah, we got to get rid of these guards.
Yeah.
I'm going to play it here.
Watch where that 4 stone goes. Pretty dangerous.
Just trying to open it up here.
That's right, trying to set up the skip. They don't want to have a situation where there's no room for Kevin Martin to get in.
Well, when this rock here hit this one here, it moved over, and then it took away this raise back onto that. So you can see what I'll just clear that for a second. Now Kevin's going to try to hit this here and get something going with PO weight. That'll go in here. This will go out there. The shooter will move. Try and get it opened up.
Rick Folk just put it back up.
Looking for another guard. Yeah.
Rick Folk in position to steal this $2,000 skin.
Yeah, give me a new one.
I think he traded rocks at the end of last end. I'm not positive, but I saw them conversing about his last draw, and they felt that last rock grabbed a little bit in the first end. So looks like they might have traded off.
Yeah, you're right, Linda. He changed stones.
Well, that's what Wernick, Russ Howard did. Played black stones.
That's right.
And they made a trade too, remember?
Yeah.
Line set. Line set.
This is better high than too tight. You heard Pat say not too tight now.
A little bit at the end.
I like it. Into the crotch. Into the crotch gets rid of this back one too.
Yeah.
I'd rather see it just take it across the top. Yeah. Wouldn't be bad to get rid of the backing, but instead you rock, eh? Right here.
Gonna hit this one with a pretty good weight. Try and drive it back into this area here and get rid of these stones here.
Out of there. Maybe just a touch more ice, Kev.
You heard him say into the crotch is fine. Get them all going. This is his forte.
Doing some bailing here.
He just curled a little too much on him.
That's right. Need a little more brushing. It did take off on him even with that weight.
We'll be using our rocks here. I hate to do it for him. I'll play it here, and if I'm late.
Well, the front sits up pretty well for Rick. Those are his stones out there, the two rocks sitting out in front of the rings. So he's going to come into the top 8 foot. It's going to come right in, you heard him say, as he got down to the other end, right into this area here, right in here.
He's trying to block off 2 shots, the possible draw in, but also the in off the Yellowstone that's in the 12 foot there could be used by Kevin Martin to get into the 4 foot area. So he's trying to block both of those.
The final stone for Rick Folk here in the second end. $2,000 is the skin.
Yeah. Okay, line set, flat rope. Flat rope. Okay, line set. Cross 4. Okay, 5. Right here. Hurry. Right on, come on. Still more. That's it.
I think he's left himself a chance to get out of this, at least force a carryover.
Not much in this direction.
Well, it's going to be tough. They're trying to figure out the angles on all these rocks.
Yeah.
Can't see.
This is probably easier. Half a rock.
I think the raise off the side one is about it.
Yeah. Play it off the 4.
Yeah.
What Linda was talking about earlier is this stone here.
move a lot
If he
here.
hadn't put this one here, then he could have come off of this one here, across into this area here, and maybe got his 2 points.
Exactly.
But by
Little
putting
left.
it there, now he can only drive it into this area here.
But this shot, if he makes it, gives him his 2 for his skin.
Yeah, he has to hit it. He has to hit it a touch on the outside and catch the corner of the back stone sitting just outside the 4 foot. Ready for this big time again, too.
Heard him say he needs half a together, and so it will be the steal of the skin and $2,000 for Rick Folk here in the second end. And it was all set up by that great tap back by Pat Ryan. Kevin Martin tried bailing himself out, and he couldn't. We'll play for $1,250 when we come back to Saskatoon.
McCain took your favorite sandwiches and put them in their pockets. Introducing new McCain ham and cheese and beef and cheddar super pockets. Savor the flavors, 'cause it's the bite you really like. All in a crust that's baked, not fried, so there's no leaks, no mess. Back to make it eat, it's the bite you really like. New McCain super pockets. We filled up our pockets with the flavors you savor. McCain!
I'll call. Hello?
Hi. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas.
I love you too, Dad.
Cantel Amigo at these fine stores.
When they saw the first fiberglass skis or the first graphite tennis racket, some people laughed.
They'll never laugh.
And when some people first saw the hammer, they had the same reaction.
Get serious. Where's the straw?
Then, two-time Canadian and world champions Ed Wernick and Russ Howard chose the hammer.
The quick-change faceplates provide greater control under all types of ice conditions.
The hammer is the most effective sweeping device I've ever used.
Now who's laughing? For more information, call 1-800-567-7757.
To make room for the advanced thinking that went into the new Chrysler Cirrus, a big idea was needed. Cab-forward design. Space for a new kind of seat that actually reduces driver fatigue. Space for an improved dual airbag system with its own backup electrical source. In back, space for another heating system and room for 3. Cab-forward design. Now there's room for thought. The new Chrysler Cirrus. Luxury has never been easier to get into.
Here's a look at the money won by the skips in this weekend's McCain TSN Skins game previously. Russ Howard on top, 145. You notice at the bottom, Rick Folk with just $1,000. Rick Folk competed in the very first TSN Skins game. That was 86, Newmarket, Ontario. And hey, you've already won more now than you did back in 86.
Yeah, I'm really moving up the ladder now.
Rick, it's nice early in the game to get a feel for draw weight. You've made some beautiful draws to the 4-foot.
Yeah, the ice is a little bit faster here, but really nice for draw weight. And on that end there, Pat made a real nice bump back there that really set it up for us, because up until then we were in a little bit of trouble.
Rick, did you change your rock after your draw on the first end that seemed to cut too much? Your last stone that we were drawing against the two, did you change that stone?
Yes, I did. Yeah,
okay.
It took a sudden move there, and whether it just caught something or what, we figured we'd throw the doubt out and get in a different one. But I didn't like it. It didn't react to anything the way the first one did.
Those poor old lead men again to get those, eh?
Well, they're lucky. It was good for draw weight, though.
Yeah. Rick, thanks very much.
Okay.
We're playing for $1,250 now in this third end, and Kevin Martin will once again have last rock, so he'll try to score 2, get himself back into it, having given up the steal of $2,000 in the second end.
Thank you.
Jerry Richard. He was an all-star at last year's Brier, an all-star lead.
Okay, looks like lots. Low back.
They're looking for a guard. But they're not going to get it. It's going to slide too far. Very fast down the center of the sheet.
Okay, Jack.
Well, that's interesting now. You ignore it, and is that just simply because he's behind?
No, he's going to try, yes, get 2 points to catch up, and you do it with corner guards. So And notice they don't move those corner guards too far away from the 4-foot. And
that's right. They mentioned that earlier, that they like them to be in range where they can come around them, but also tap them into the 4-foot area so they don't put them too wide.
Halfway's good. Halfway. Shot 9. Bring it up tight.
At least we know we're safe if ever, heaven forbid, a fire breaks out. There are 3 firefighters. Jerry, of course, Neil Harrison, Ed Wernick, and a police officer.
I don't know if we can count on Neil and Eddie right now, though. They are celebrating their victory, so Jerry would be all on his own out there.
I could see somebody saying, Eddie saying, carry me.
No.
Carry me out.
He's pretty happy.
Yeah, attaboy, Jerry. Nice shot. Kind of weight. It's here.
Back 12-foot weight.
Don Bartlett has asked him, are you still at Station B? He says, nope, I'm at the main post office now in Edmonton.
Very. All the way. All the way. All the way. All the way high. Very, very high. Very high. Very high.
Oh,
now the roll.
Great job of that front end. The rushing of James Paul, Kevin Park. You could hear Don Bartlett.
See it all? Better throw right there.
Well, they pretty well had to play that quiet weight because the rock wasn't completely open, but it did mean that when he got the roll, it wouldn't roll very far. And now, of course, Rick Folk can hit and roll back towards center with Bert Gretzinger's shot.
Yeah, they want to hit it a little bit thinner and get a bigger roll behind the corner.
Bert got it outside.
This is a good shot, even if it's a little bit short. Wants it just to bite the 12-foot, but even if you're short of the rings, it's a nice shot.
James Paul.
Clean.
Now, he could try and split the house and go for his 2 that way, but he feels like it's too early in the end, I guess, to do that.
Bump his guard again.
This one went sideways.
I don't know if it caught something. They were having troubles earlier with that.
Mine's good for the bump.
You must have.
It's the second in turn that we've seen big movement. We mentioned that to Rick when he changed his rock in the first end. So there may be a spot out there, Linda, where it's a little bit flat, and it just makes that big move on you. We'll keep an eye on it.
Go regular.
Bert runs and owns Wins Rentals. Rent anything, he says. He said anything, I'll rent anything for a price. Now that's an independent businessman.
Yeah. Straight. Right. Straight. 3, 1. Whoa.
Brush just outside the 4-foot to try and bury a rock, which is just covering the edge of the 4-foot on the other side, so that indicates the swing.
You have lots of room.
James Paul works for
not bad.
Fort's Ignition.
Hurry. Hard. Ready. Hard. Hurry. Room. No, James. Oh. Whoa.
I'll say it's a good shot.
James, a little bit slower than what he usually does. He and his father are drag racers, and they won the Super Pro Championship this year at Capitol Raceway in Edmonton, driving a 66 Coronet.
Well, that was a beautiful come around, but it did go a little bit deep in that it's at the tee line, and if Pat Ryan can come to the corner, he might even be able to tap it a bit, and then he would be shot stone in front of it.
Even by sitting in front of it, I think that he can negate it. He can be shot rock for sure.
Yeah, fine, line's good.
Just angle freeze onto it.
3 yards. 3. 3 yards. 3. Come on. Come on. Come on. Come on. That's good, Bert. Okay, good shot.
Either guard or just split the house, I guess. I like just going here. Okay. It's a tough spot. Tight guard, guys.
Kevin and Linda's, if you're ever in Edmonton. That's the name of the restaurant.
Line's good. Easy. Take a look. Takes a lot of weight. Let it work. Line's good. Well, let her bend. Let her bend. Whoa. Whoa. Let her bend. Whoa. Oh, at the end. Oh, boy. Good shot.
I think the double bump might be there.
Yeah, I think so too, Linda.
Want to play the raise, Pat? Bump back, yeah. Eh? Sure. Yeah, let's play back here.
Yellow onto black, black onto yellow, just quietly. Pat starts from the up position, the trunk lift position.
Oh, yeah. Let's wait. Whoa. 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 Play. Off. Right off. Play. Whoa. Whoa. Right off. Off. Down. Off. 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 Whoa. That way. All right.
Tap her back. Sure.
Martin needs 2 to pick up the skin here, and he's got a chance to lie 2 here. Just tap it back and roll over a little bit. That rock of Pat's had to finish a little more, and then had to curl just a wee bit more.
Well, the weight was pretty good, maybe a touch heavy, but it needed to curl.
Let's tap this back.
Lots of rotation.
Let it work.
Shows that in turn like John Kawaja.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Perfect weight. It just didn't curl for him. Still a good shot.
Rock? Yeah. You bet.
So Kevin Martin continues to lie 1. Tee line at 8 foot, 9 o'clock. Needs 1 more, though, of course.
Hey, nice weight.
Pick up the skin. Yeah, it's race thought, too. The weight was good. Just didn't curl enough.
The line looked pretty good halfway down. Yeah. Go even hog line.
Folks, curling corner. If I'm not mistaken, I think families still run a store here in Saskatoon.
Yes, they do. I saw it as I came by towards the hotel.
Line's good. Clean it, you guys. Yeah, hurry. 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 Clean. Through. Fight the 4, that's all.
Ooh, this is a wonderful shot. Stops. Whoa. Just got by the front one, so this is a very difficult tap back for Kevin Martin.
Back 4 foot, eh?
And if you hit it on the outside, you'll drive it onto your own and or onto the black second shot, third shot now, but
back 4.
Just gets by here, and it's just got perfect draw weight, so...
Yeah, you have to wonder, Linda, if he can get across the face of this enough then to push it straight back. If that was that close
That's
there.
what I'm trying to say, only
Yeah,
I'm
that's right.
stumbling with it.
Because they were hoping this one would actually be the top of the 4th loop, but it really curled. And it kept on going, so tough tap back for Kevin Martin.
And his first stone here in the third end.
Paul, wait for it. Stay close. Paul.
A little short on the
close.
wing. Gotta go for wing.
Hurry then.
Hard. 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 Push it. Come on, hard. We gotta move it. Hard.
Oh.
Hard, 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 hard.
Now we got enough weight to punch it back. But I tell you what, the line was there. He just didn't have the weight.
With enough weight to move it back to the 8-foot, though, I don't know if it would have curled that much, but...
Let's put her out front as high as...
Shit. Gotta get on that fan. Corner freeze on the other side. No idea that was that late.
Actually, yeah.
Just had to brush it earlier is what they're talking about. And then it would have been a quarter freeze for him.
Try to leave it as high as we can.
He'd just like to get this over the hog line on the center line someplace. That's what he means by as high as possible.
In a great spot now, a great position to maybe steal here as well. $1,250. Final stone for Rick Folk.
Beautiful release, Linda. Really is good, clean release. Lots of rotation as well. It's one thing that you can notice. Most of these teams throw with very positive releases and lots of rotation. That's about the 3.5 revolutions on the way down.
What's he got?
Not a lot of combinations.
I think the draw to the button might be there. So I thought Rick might take a little more ice so that he actually was on the other side of center to try and block the path a little better. But of course, this is a very tough shot.
This is...
Well, the only trouble with, taking more ice than I think is if you ever leave a little bit of a hole, then all he has to do is tick that front yellow one and it would move the back one.
The ideal one would be just half locked on.
You can't block it all. Actually, Pat's just talking about what you just finished saying. If you just had it over about 4 more inches. This is a very difficult. And this is a draw to what? Carry over?
Yeah. I mean, you don't think he can move that folk stone enough to get to
no.
it. This is just he's got to catch the pinhole here for the carryover of $1,250. And it's ironic, it's curling store owner against curling store owner here, the two skips.
Dragon rights.
It's got the line.
We'll have you by the top yellow. Okay.
Did it go far enough?
That's as stupid are we going to
Do you want to measure this one? Look at this.
That ain't shot. We blame it on the sweeper.
Absolutely, Kevin.
I think it's folk.
Yeah, if they brush it just a little bit, it's going to hit it a little thinner, Linda, and squirt a little closer.
I think it's Blackstone.
Take a look at it. Maybe measure it.
Until I yellow right on.
It's a big measurement here. Bails himself out. What do you think? I'm going black.
Attaboy, Patty.
Close enough, isn't it? Well, it's close. Take a look.
Well, there you go. Pat thinks it's black.
Yeah, there's,
you notice I didn't jump in, Vic.
We just have to keep them clean unless we yell right off.
Well, you can measure if you want. Put half an inch.
Nothing we can do there. Same thing.
Umpire Doug Maxwell.
It's worth $1,250.
Put a broom in front of it and just drag a broom. Just drag a broom. We're good. Yeah, well. I don't know why we're measuring. You got it. I didn't.
Black is Folk.
Not by lots.
And it is. Black will score and steal $1,250 here in this third end of play, and now it's $3,250 on Folk's side.
Well, you heard Kevin Martin say if this isn't shot rock, it's really because they didn't sweep it. They laid off it all the way. They felt it was a little heavy, I guess, at this point. It just seems to dig in right about here. They stay off it. Now they jump on it. And let up a bit here. This is where I guess Kevin felt they should have been on it, because even the thin, if you hit it a little bit thinner, just a touch thinner, you see. It rolls a little further.
Rick Folk is in control. We're still early in this semifinal. The 94 McCain TSN Skins game.
Well,
there's one cake so good it will keep you coming back for more. McCain Deep and Delicious Cakes, sealed with a see-through dome to keep in all that rich, moist, deliciously fresh taste. So you can raid the cake tray, seal up the rest, and put it back in the freezer till you're ready for the very next craving. McCain Deep and Delicious. Cake so good, it'll keep you coming back for more.
Tough to shop for this guy.
I heard that the people down east were perhaps the nicest, friendliest folks in the country. So, where better to get some fun gift ideas? Starting with, say, a little something for my dear, sweet grandmother.
Beverage warmer for tea.
Oh, that's good. Grandfather.
Scanner.
My sister.
Sports bottle.
My uncle who likes to jog.
Pedometer.
Rowdy neighbors.
Dead batteries.
You know, it's the thought that counts.
Remote control car.
Completely wired.
Keepers.
Give the gift of...
Gift certificate.
Herb, you're a machine.
3-in-1 remote.
When they saw the first fiberglass skis or the first graphite tennis racket, some people laughed.
They'll never laugh.
And when some people first saw the hammer, they had the same reaction.
Get serious. Where's the straw?
Then, two-time Canadian and world champions Ed Wernick and Russ Howard chose the hammer.
The quick-change faceplates provide greater control under all types of ice conditions.
The hammer is the most effective sweeping device I've ever used.
Now who's laughing? For more information, call 1-800-567-7757.
It's in the cards, curling cards, and now there's more of them. The original set of 66 has a sequel.
50 more cards. They're international. We've got players from all around the world, world champions, gold medalists from the Olympics, world finalists, and it's been a lot of fun. The players are right behind it. They're really anxious to be featured in it now that they've seen what the Premier Edition is all about. And it's been a good fundraiser for curling clubs, too.
Sports cards and collectibles have been the rage for 5 years, and Ryan sees the opportunity to market curling cards.
Fans love them. They catch players coming off the ice and get their signatures on there, and it's we have special autograph sessions at the Briar where the players line up and the people come down with their cards. So it's been a lot of fun.
And like other sports cards, curling cards are going up in value. So how much is a Pat Ryan worth?
Well, the Pat Ryan card, it's invaluable, I think. It's probably not worth any more than the others. But if I get hit by a bus, it'll go up in value considerably.
And if you'd like to order either the Premier Edition or the sequel set, you can do so. Send a check, a money order to the following address. You just have to look out for the bus that just might come through Nutana here. Well, Folks' team has been the runaway bus so far, scoring all the skins.
Pat's always had a good attitude on and off the ice, and he certainly, over the years, has entertained us in so many ways. He's a very accomplished singer and does a great Elvis, and we've had the pleasure of watching a number of his routines at the various World Championships and Briars, so he's really a fun person to be around.
Playing for $1,250 here in end number 4. Once again, hammer belongs to Martin. He'll look to score 2.
Good. Playing it.
They've been talking a lot about the debris on the ice, and you heard them say clean it. Well, they were talking between ends about cleaning every stone unless it looked like it might be missing the shot they were intending, because they're very worried about the little bit of dirt that's out there.
Corner guard.
Don Bartlett.
Bring her up tight.
Tight guard. You cannot peel that corner guard off. 3 guard zone rule.
A little wider line. Have to go. Yeah, gotta be tight. Come on, come on, come on.
You can see how far Pat's brush is out in front of the stone.
But you know, you notice I took note of this earlier. It's only with Bert. When Bert's brushing, when Bert's throwing and Jerry Richard is brushing, then he goes to the other side.
Okay. I didn't notice that. I don't know why we do that, but we'll have to ask him.
Well, it didn't guard the stone completely, so the intern side of that shot rock is exposed for Don Bartlett to try and tap it.
Hurry. Oh. Stay close. Hurry. Hurry.
Big movement here this afternoon. We'll see if it is similar this evening.
Didn't move it enough, though, and Folk remains shot, just biting the back of the 4.
Well, Vic, I hated to correct you, but now that they are in position, it's actually Jerry Richard that flip-flops from one side to the other, and Pat Ryan stays on the same side.
Oh, no, that's what I meant. You know, just that they do flip, and they have one on either side.
Well, Jerry always has done that, where he is the one that's able to sweep both sides, but nobody else has that in their repertoire.
Thank you very much, Linda, because Vic was trying to trick me.
I thought he was.
He was.
I thought he was. Quiet. So Pat never changes and Bert never changes, but Jerry's the versatile one.
And it just comes back to what you were saying earlier, maybe, about not learning that early enough. You know, maybe Bert. Yeah, sure.
Well, this allows Kevin a chance to get in now.
It's a tough day you guys have ganged up on me.
Well,
you know,
we're going to get you early, Vic. First day of the curling circuit. Well, so far there's a guard up front and 2 rocks in the house, all belonging to Folk, but they aren't in great position for Folk. So Martin can still come down to the rock in the back of the 4-foot and try and set up his deuce.
It's got to be in front of the tee.
Earlier today, it was Wernick against Howard, and they're still here at the Nutana, watching Wernick winning by $250. And so he'll meet the winner of this game. Russ Howard, the 3-time defending champion, will... Hello, Wendy. I'm bringing home $8,500. You can go out and buy those gifts now.
Oh, take freeze. Oh, want to freeze? Yeah. Freeze. Come on, freeze. Come on.
They're not sliding at the end like they were this afternoon, Linda. They seem to be, this afternoon, they looked like they were going to dig in.
Back 4.
But they would continue to slide a little bit and move a little bit sideways. But tonight, they seem to be, when they start to slow up, they're curling and they're making the move, but they're not sliding like they were. I don't know why that would be.
Yep.
The shorty certainly got that little ridge out of the ice. No
it's much better.
It was just a small thing, but... He's a master when it comes to making these ice surfaces. He really is. say. Nice flat swing. Stays nice and high.
Great, Lane. Side by side or long? Who's going to guard? Pass it. Pass it. Come on, man. Hurry. Come on, man. Come on. Pass it. Okay. Just turn on the corner. Three. Okay. Oh, good.
Boy, I tell you what, Kevin Martin has done nothing but bail himself out of trouble. Absolutely.
Full top 4.
Well, he's been in a lot of trouble, that's for sure, Vic.
And to be fair, you wouldn't have thought
Might be able to weld it.
the way he'd play. I mean, it just, the feeling is coming in that he maybe would have been the favorite here.
It's only been a shot or two that he's gotten into trouble with, though. If any of these shots had been in front of the tee line and these freezes hadn't been possible, or if that tap-back angle had been better, they're just off by a fraction. Or things might be totally different on the scoreboard.
Kevin Park.
Let's remember, Vic, the year that David Smith won 7 skins and lost.
Yeah.
Quick, hard.
Roll it.
Congratulations to everyone here at the Nutana in Saskatoon. They've done a wonderful job in preparing and hosting
Let's go with the out.
this McCain TSN Skins game, and we thank them for their hospitality.
Yeah, they're okay.
Well, Pat called down about the 2 Yellowstones belonging to Kevin Martin. They're in front of the rings, and they are lined up to come into the house area. But Rick says they're okay. That is, he doesn't have to guard them, because if Martin was to try and promote them into the rings, they'd actually, I think, hit his own shot and not get near the shot stone in the button area. So they're just trying to guard the hole here.
Oh, don't touch it.
You'd like to be raising your own stones, but it looks a little bit like Kevin's going to either have to try and get some of those rocks off the front, or he's going to have to play a black, which is a folk stone, onto a yellow.
Yeah, back 8's good.
Is there a hole there, Linda?
That's what they're talking about.
Okay, he's going to have to try and come through this hole here, get this stone back into this area right here. It's not a big hole.
Kevin Park.
Clean. Hard. Hurry. Quick. Hard. 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 Hard.
All right.
Yeah, you got it opened up a bit.
Actually, that's not that bad.
Well, I think it increased their options by quite a few, because it opened it up, left a stone in the front that can be raised, put a stone into the side of the rings belonging to folk that they can come off.
Right on the center line.
It looks
That's right.
infinitely better to me than it did a minute ago.
I don't think he has any real lineups there.
Rick's talking about the lineups here, and I think he's right. They aren't there. The hole is there. He's going to try and plug that. But what Linda mentioned, too, is that now this rock is in place, so Kevin can maybe come off of this one across like so. Kevin Martin's in more trouble than Miss Bianca and Bernhard.
Hey, just clean. We're going to bump. Clean.
Hurry.
Rick Folk has all the skins so far, $3,250.
Clean. Whoa, clean. Clean.
That's going to overcurl.
You don't know who Miss Bianca and Bernard are?
Oh.
Don't watch those Walt Disney movies, Vic?
No. No. You're going to win the skin. You've got to score 2 points. Or you steal it. And that's what Rick Folk did the last stand.
Bernard, of course, is the voice of Bob Newhart. I watch those all the time.
Intern and outturn might be watching them as we speak.
The Rescuers Down Under.
Kevin Martin and his first stone.
Well, a big break for him when that guard overcurled. He's got an easy access to his own stone to play the tap.
Yep. Good, good, good.
Good job.
So he has his stone in there that would at least force a carryover.
No. Oh, yeah, that one. Straight in. Lined up now. Yeah, but that's the 2 yellows. No, I don't think so. I don't think so. I think it's going to spin off.
It's a natural.
Hey?
It is. They come right on the head of that yellow.
Oh, hey. Comes right over. Comes right over
weight.
here.
There's only play board weight.
These are the rocks they're talking about. Pat says it's a natural.
Oh, we play this.
Rick didn't think so.
Oh, we play this.
The double?
Yeah.
The other shot, of course, it's available. It's off of here.
Okay.
Let's go regular weight.
I like this shot here.
I like it that even if you just get a roll in, you're really making it tough to get 2. I think I like it better than the other one.
Pat thinks the 2 Yellowstones outside. If he hits it on the nose, it'll drive it right back to the rock on the button. We may get a chance to see that.
Final stone. Kevin Martin, though, with last rock here in this 4th, worth $1,250.
Right on. Right.
Had to hit it a little thinner. Now to get 2.
How in the heck are we going to get in there? Make this?
Either that or an intern to here.
Yeah, that's tough. It bends. Like this.
All right, this works good at the end.
Comes in nice. Edge of 4. I threw that pretty close last time, didn't I?
Yeah, you were right up.
He'll need full 4, maybe a little piece of the button.
He's got to come across the face like so. Just tap
If I
this
go through
rock
the hole and hit that
back
thing,
into that area there.
both black gone?
Are both blacks gone?
Or are they froze together pretty good?
There's not much separation there.
All right.
This is no easy shot, Linda.
Bends big.
It's got to finish. You heard him talk about it. Bends big.
Final stone. He's forced the carryover. Can he get his 2nd point now to pick up the skin?
Here it comes, but is it going to come enough?
Attaboy,
For
nice shot.
nice shot, right. You bet. 2 yellow means that Kevin Martin is finally on the board. He picks up $1,250 here in this 4th end. We'll play for $1,500 when we come back to the Nutana in Toontown, Saskatoon.
I'll call.
wanted to say Merry Christmas.
I love you too, Dad.
Can tell Amigo at these fine stores.
Super crisp, super spirals, McCain. What have you done to my fries?
We've spiced them up.
All right.
We've crisped them up. Brilliant. We've even curled them up.
Excellent.
McCain has taken its famous super fries, dipped them in light batter, and surrounded them with bite after bite of crispy, crunchy, super spicy satisfaction. Straight ahead or curled around. Super crisps and super spirals from McCain. You'll love what we've done to your fries.
Curlers, with the Hammer broom, you will never lose a shot to a hair or straw again.
Every curler has had a good shot ruined by straw or push broom hair. The Hammer eliminates debris and creates increased friction for better results.
The Hammer's easy to change faceplates to different ice conditions.
The Hammer is the cleanest, most effective sweeping device our team has ever used.
For the location of a store near you, call 1-800-567-7757.
We gave Dodge Ram the most powerful overall line of truck engines on the planet. A driver's side airbag, the option of four-wheel anti-lock brakes, a cab design that sets a new standard for comfort and room. Then, after we made the Dodge Ram that good, we made it this bad. Introducing new Ram Sport from Dodge, Canada's truck stop.
Canada's oldest and only national monthly curling publication just got better. To subscribe to the Curling News, now a magazine, call this toll-free number, 1-800-553-8003. Canadian Curling News, now it's a magazine. Great shot, picks up 1250. You've been bailing a lot up until that point.
We're in major trouble here. Yeah, it's a matter of getting those draws, I think, in front of the tee line. We've just got to move the house back a bit.
Kevin, a nice path to the 4-foot finally when Rick Folk's guard overcurled.
Yeah, we finally, well, we got a rock stationed in a good spot to bump, and magically enough, good things happen.
Kevin, it's the ice is to your liking. It seems to be working with both turns. This afternoon there was a little ridge on the in turn and the out turn coming down this way, but it seems to be gone now.
Oh, the ice is good. It always is. It's just a matter of making the shots, and the ice is good. It'll be a good game.
We're playing for $1,500. Wish you good luck.
All right, thanks a lot.
$1,500 is on the line here in this fifth end of play, and it will be Rick Folk who now has last rock, the Hammer. This was the final stone of Mark. It just curls enough. I mean, in fact, he may have gotten away with it. Catch that maybe a little thinner, and he pushes it out the side and doesn't catch the black.
Oh, also what great weight, because if he had a little more weight with that angle, it would have been probably just outside that 4-foot, and he wouldn't have picked up the skin. So perfect control by Kevin Martin, and two nice out turns there that he made. Put him on the board.
Get me one of these times.
So there you saw it as we play for $1,500 here in this fifth end.
Right here. Pop, pop. Wait, honey.
Center line guard. Jerry Richard.
be very busy again this season. Not only is he lead on this team, but he coaches his daughter, Gina. Gina came third last year in the Nationals, and she's again playing within BC in the Junior Championships, and they start next weekend. So he's just constantly working either with his daughter or with this team.
Well, of course, with the season of champions and the curling spread out a little bit more this year, the mixed, the junior, the Scott, the Briar, the playdowns are all starting a little bit earlier for everyone.
Wayne. Hurry. Not heavy.
Feels strange that they play the provincial playdowns. We play our provincial playdowns next weekend. You know, the senior provincial playdowns next weekend. The second week in December.
Well, both of those last two rocks over curled. They're just finding more swing, I think, in the ice.
It happened this afternoon, too, as we got into the 5th and 6th end. It started to move a little more. It gets a little warmer in here, and the pebble breaks down or flattens out a little bit, especially as you get close to that center line. Jerry must have thrown that outside for sure.
It's a busy season of champions because beginning right in the middle of January, we'll be at the Canadian Mixed in Sarnia, the Canadian Senior St. John, Scott Tournament of Hearts, Calgary, Labatt, Briar, Halifax, World Juniors Perth, Ford Worlds in Brandon, and then the final of the World Curling Tour in Selkirk, Manitoba. That's all still ahead on Canada's most comprehensive curling coverage.
Okay, clean. Hurry. Room. Okay. Clean. All room. Off. Not hit.
So that's what Kevin was referring to, Linda, when in the interview, that they got to keep those stones in front of the tee line. They're slipping them behind the tee line.
You get that one, okay?
Rick needs a deuce here to get his skin, but he doesn't want to get it too cluttered up, so he can't get in and at least get the carryover.
No, it's starting to get very messy for Rick Folks, so he'd like to clean it up. He's got a double possibility here.
That rock's in a nice spot for Kevin Martin. Now he'll come with his wide out turn.
We're going out to the different turn now. So.
It's interesting how one shot either way can change the momentum, isn't it? Suddenly it's smoke and it's not going his way.
Yeah, that's right.
Line's pretty good. Two more. Okay. Hold it.
Weight's not bad, actually.
Okay. Room. Okay.
Finish it?
No. Shot, Dave.
Well, that's a great shot in front of the tee line, nicely covered. I think, yeah, Rick Folks just going to try and get the front cleared off.
Go there. Try and get about 7/8.
Bert Kretzinger.
Trying to run it back.
Did it pick something, Linda, you think?
I don't know. They really curled more than they thought.
Maybe curious it curls that much with that kind of weight. Earlier on the draws,
I think it picked something. I think you can see it by their reactions, too. Right there, it just went sideways.
Clean. He's good. Okay.
The mark good. Third is Kevin Park.
Ball. Needs to curl a little.
Length of the ring, so let it work.
Okay, let it work. Just clean. Curling nice. Yep. Wow. Shot, Kev.
A very nice guard.
What do you see on this one?
Huh?
What do you see?
Fifth of it.
Okay, try to run her back, eh?
Straight?
Yeah.
Lead.
Yeah. Yeah. Great.
These are his shots. Ooh.
He loves throwing those two, doesn't he? You can just see the gleam in his eye. But that's not the result you wanted from that one. No.
This rock had a big hair on it. That's why it's sideways last time. I think it is.
So, Linda, that's exactly what Ray and I thought it picked last stone.
Thanks, Vic, for pointing that out.
Kevin Park.
Line's nice. How much? How close?
Hard! Hard! Hard!
Still by. Hey, Paul.
Pull the rings.
No, that's not bad at all.
No, it's almost covered as well. What a mess.
Here he comes again. Lift your feet.
Hey, straight! Yeah. Straight!
Just curled a little too much on him that time.
Cover the same thing. Can't hurt us in the out-turn right now. Okay, discard this bump.
Yeah.
And that in-turn draw.
Well, he's right. The only thing Rick Folk has is to try and come down with an in-turn. So that's what he's going to try and protect.
Okay, he's going to try and protect this bump here by putting the rock just out in this area right there. That's the one he was referring to.
First stone for Kevin Martin.
That one caught something right away, he said.
Hold that line. Come on, hard. We bump off.
Yeah, I don't know what it is. This afternoon they were talking about bits of dirt that comes off the carpet from the people walking around, and then the curlers stepping on something that was brought in on the other, the fan shoes.
Yeah, I think that one of the things the curler's going to have to do for sure is to stay off the carpet during the game and stay on the ice surface, Linda. That's what I would kind of tell him, because I think that's what it is. It's just dirt or fleck. You watch Kevin's reaction here. Just as it leaves his hand, kind of catches something. Right there. See it go sideways?
Yeah. Quick spin, something underneath it.
Yeah, right away. You can see it. And he knows it's caught something. And you know, he's so deliberate in coming back, he always brushes his own path all the way back.
But when it's little bits of dirt, they're almost little bits of stone. They embed so much into the ice that you really can't do that with a quick swipe of your brush. It takes a lot more pressure to get rid of it. This one isn't curling very much.
Too thin.
And right across the face.
Top 12-foot, Linda?
Looking to cut off that path again.
Well,
that's a pretty impressive list, isn't it?
well, he beat Ed Lukowicz 10-6 to qualify for this year's championship.
He had a great series last year at the World Curling Tournament Championship in Calgary. He played really well.
Mine's good.
Mine's good.
Hurry. Okay. Mine's good.
I think he put a string of 33 wins together before he lost to Eddie Wernick in that semi-final in Florenceville, Vic. He really had a great run at it.
And he admits, the edge was a little off. He knew he was going to qualify here. And by the same token, Ed was all fire to get back.
But it was coming.
Yeah, it's trying a little bit.
Yeah. Guard was.
Yeah.
Great draw. Yeah.
Now there's room here. They were just talking about it. Although Rick's last stone went very straight in this spot, he was playing that extra weight with raise, and of course it was raising a stone in front of the house. It just needs to make a little move at the end to get into shot stone, and he can force a carryover.
Two Worlds, two Briars. One Briar for Saskatchewan. This past year, the Briar
Pat, let's go with that outturn draw.
All right.
It's changed to the other side now.
He's moving over there pretty good. A bit more.
No, it's interesting. I would have thought that the other turn would move a little more, but
There's no guard to until you get to the rings to worry about here. He's just going to go through the hole, and a couple things can happen. Of course, if you just chip the outside black one, you'll roll into the 4-foot and be shot. I think he has a little more room, he feels, here. He'll play the chip now.
but with that extra weight, I don't know if it'll curl.
Right off.
Come right across.
Had to be a little thinner.
It won't, and that's the way you bail yourself out. Now the bailing's the other way. Kevin Martin, with the steal of the $1,500, has put himself right back into this 94 McCain TSN Skins game. We've played 5 ends here in Saskatoon.
What tire do you trust in the wet? The tire that removes over 2 gallons of water per second from under the tread. The Wet Traction MX4. Another engineering splash from Michelin.
Snack attack, snack attack.
Looks like a job for Captain Nibbler.
Packs of 5 singles, 2 McCain cheese nibblers, good for you. Zap that snack attack, everyone agrees. Nothing tastes quite like real cheese.
Your whole family will love the delicious, nutritious taste of McCain Cheese Nibblers, the satisfying snack that comes in all their favorite varieties.
Zap that snack attack, pick a pack today. McCain cheese nibblers, what do you say?
Zap that snack attack. When they saw the first fiberglass skis or the first graphite tennis racket, some people laughed.
They'll never laugh.
And when some people first saw the hammer, they had the same reaction.
Get serious. Where's the straw?
Then, 2-time Canadian and world champions Ed Wernick and Russ Howard chose the hammer.
The quick change faceplates provide greater control under all types of ice conditions.
The hammer is the most effective sweeping device I've ever used.
Now who's laughing? For more information, call 1-800-567-7757.
You can tell a lot about a man by his shaver. The man who uses a Braun Flex Control appreciates good looks, has the flexibility to adjust to any situation, and he's not afraid to get close. But the most revealing thing about a man who uses a Braun is how easy it is to spot him.
I believe this is yours.
Braun, the world's most recognized shave.
The Michelin XH4 tire comes with a 130,000-kilometer tread wear guarantee. That's 3 times around the world. A long way, no matter what circles you travel in.
Saskatoon is all decked out for the holidays. We're in Saskatoon at the Nutana Curling Club for this 1994 McCain TSN Skins game.
Whoa.
Oh, this is...
Now, this is a rule change.
Yep. This is around the corner curling.
One team plays down one sheet. It's called a blind shot. The other team plays down the other sheet.
And what we try to do is the first team that gets to the button. Is that it? Right. Kevin Martin is right back into it with the steal of $1,500. So now he trails by just 500, and we're playing for another 15 here in end number 6. Boy, it's a crazy game.
Polk with the hammer. Just to get 2 for his skin.
Well, so far the hammer hasn't been all that valuable because the team without last rock has set up the end so well. It's been a time for the skip to try and get his team bailed out when they had last rock. We'll see if it makes a difference here, if Rick Folk can make something happen.
Jerry Richard.
Yeah. Okay, that's good. What?
Well, what's the advantage, do you think, to having last rock? Well, 34% chance of winning the skin if you have last rock. Without it, stealing's 29%. And forcing the carryover is 36%. So there is a bit of an advantage in having last rock.
Whoa, a lot of weight, a lot of weight. Oh, let her die. Let her die.
That's great. Back it up.
It's all right.
Hit and roll to the corner.
Yeah. Break.
Well, it worked out all right. They really weren't looking for that, but when you're going to hit those ones a little bit too head-on, it's nice to get the double behind.
Things are going really bad. You just skinny the back one.
Yeah,
You miss it.
hate that.
You don't get the corner roll, and you don't get the back.
James Paul.
Just big. That's back 8. Yeah, it's back 8.
Just too heavy is what they're referring to. Too much weight.
Little crossbars.
Looking for the raise here, trying to move that stone off the front of the house.
Oh, looks like
Get a little flip with the shooter. They're hoping to cross the stone more so the shot that was driven into the house would actually be behind that corner guard. It just didn't curl enough.
Remember again, it's Folk that has last rock. Will need to score the 2 points to pick up this $1,500 skin.
Way short.
Okay, yeah, we're not buying it. Well, no, we're not.
Short.
Okay, right off.
Okay, front four.
That's the problem sometimes when you throw one a little bit too heavy and you cut back, you just take too much off of it. You have those games sometimes, Linda, where you just can't find it. James made some great draws today. Those two, he just threw one a little heavy and then took a little too much off in the second one.
That's room.
Bert Gritzinger.
Lots of weight. Oh, front right here. Right here. Oh. Yeah. Right. Come on.
Well, unfortunately, Bert threw that a little bit too strongly, so the sweepers couldn't take it at the end and get it to tuck around the guard. I think it's mostly exposed.
Just pump it back a bit, Kev.
Back 8.
Not even back 4 is good.
Okay.
Hurry.
Hurry, line. Come on. Hard. Right. Through now.
Up. Nice shot.
He was asking back 4. It'll stop edge of the back of the 8.
Oh, half.
Every time I let a shot go, I'm getting a heavy, silly little call.
Hey, not much hit.
Yeah, about 2/3 here. Roll right to there.
Pat Ryan here in the 6th hand.
Okay. Stay close. Let it off.
That one was a little bit heavy as well. They didn't want it to roll that far.
Like the outside come around, eh?
I heard Kevin Park talk about the outturn come around, but Kevin Martin...
Well, this is a
couldn't play
tight
the
hole,
end.
you know, to come through, Ray. The rocks are staggered in a way that it's really tough to get by that first one and then get around the second one and buried.
Think about this shot. If you get it even half buried, of course, then it's difficult to get out because you can drive it onto those 2 stones sitting behind the tee line. So that's the reasoning by wanting to come this way.
How's the weight? How's the weight? Right there.
Hurry. Room.
Right there.
Off. Okay, line's good. Oh, off. Room. Off.
Not working, Don.
Off. Off. Full front 4. Hurt.
Yep, now. Hard. Hard.
Oh, it's good.
Just didn't break for him, but it's just not so easy to get out of there.
That's a great shot. It's a perfect weight. They have to be careful not to catch it on the outside and push it on their own.
See about half the stone.
I think he was a little bit inside, and this will really go on him.
Hold on, guys. Right. Get the shooter off. Hold off the shooter off.
No.
And now that Martin Stone sitting top 4 is absolutely covered.
It's locked in there, that's for sure.
What do you think? You don't want to roll anywhere?
I don't think so. Right there, eh?
Okay.
Pretty good spot for it.
It's a good spot for it.
What do you think Board's going to do there? That should be all right, shouldn't it?
Should be.
I'm thinking of Boards. I don't think it's going to overgo there. Right on the nose.
don't think I can afford to be heavy. I locked her up pretty good.
We're going to say board weight, right on the nose.
The first stone for Kevin Martin here in 6.
Clean, hurt, hip, hard, real hard, square, hard,
And out the back, and he now lies 2. We carried over $1,000, and then Folk picked up 2. Stole $12.50 and 3. And then Martin got on the board with $12.50 and 4, stole $1,500. And that's how we sit with Folk now leading by just $500 as we play this 6th end for $1,500. It's been a really incredible momentum shift here.
Yeah, they have to be careful with this one. They want to make sure that they have at least a chance for a carryover, so they want to make sure that it's in a position where if it's not buried and in great spot, they only give Martin a chance to come to it, where Folk will still have a chance to come to that for shot rock. So it's a series of shots they still have to be thinking of. That's why a little bit deep isn't so bad with this one.
As long as it's shot rock.
Yeah, which I'm not sure it is.
Shot?
Yeah. Yeah. The danger is that had to be shot rock.
Yeah, I think it is.
Yeah. Now he gets a chance to steal again. Play the long guard.
A little more, maybe?
A little more, yeah.
They work well together now, you know, they really, they spent a year apart, I guess, Dick, or 2 years apart, and now they're back together again, and they're a terrific combination. And, you know, you see all the good combinations, the Howard brothers and Kawaja and Wernick, and it takes a combination unit working together to put you at this level.
Yeah, they had their problems.
Line's good. Line's good. Needs to bend a little. Oh, if you can.
No, line's good. Just keep it clean.
Okay, line's good.
Clean all the way.
Just play it. Don't lose it.
Clean.
Shot.
Well, I think they've got a side one here they've been eyeing. Has Kevin Martin put down that guard, they've been trying to line up this side one.
Okay.
See if they can kick it in off the yellow
a little
one.
bit more than normally. Remember Kevin threw one up here and it went really straight.
Yeah. Actually a little less than a quarter, I think.
Yeah, we need less than a quarter. Throw right up here.
Well, they really have to hit this skinny, don't they?
Well, it's kind of around the circle shot, Vic. To come down here, you heard of less than a quarter, hit this on the outside, right about out there, hit it onto this one, which will spring it this way here.
To force a carryover.
Now, Kevin Martin tried one down here earlier that went quite straight, and they didn't catch enough of the stone to make the shot. We'll see how Rick Folks turns out in almost the same spot.
Yeah.
Just the corner and all the way around, and it won't. And it won't. Pat Ryan will have another look. And he kicks it away, and it is one yellow. And so after trailing 3,250 to nothing, 3 straight skins for Kevin Martin, another steal of $1,500 here, and he leads by $1,000. Martin has come roaring back in this semifinal of the skins game.
I'll call.
Hello?
Hi. I just wanted to say
Merry Christmas.
I love you too, Dad.
Cantel Amigo at these fine stores.
We took the most comfortable full-size pickup on the road and made it more comfortable. We took the most thoughtful interior on the market and made it more thoughtful. We took the biggest cab in the industry and made it bigger. The new Dodge Ram Club Cab. First we changed the rules, then we stretched them. From Dodge, Canada's truck stop.
When they saw the first fiberglass skis or the first graphite tennis racket, some people laughed.
They'll never laugh.
And when some people first saw the hammer, they had the same reaction.
Get serious. Where's the straw?
Then, two-time Canadian and world champions Ed Wernick and Russ Howard chose the hammer.
The quick change faceplates provide greater control under all types of ice conditions.
The hammer is the most effective sweeping device I've ever used.
Now who's laughing? For more information, call 1-800-567-7757.
Just a reminder, tickets for the 96 Ford Worlds in Hamilton's Copps Coliseum are now on sale. For further details or a ticket brochure, call this toll-free number, 1-800-730-CURL. That's 1-800-730-2875. The 96 Ford Worlds in Hamilton. Well, celebrating with a little McCain orange juice. It's a funny old game, isn't it? How you can come back and suddenly be leading by $1,000?
Yeah, we're just kind of stumbling along, and things are, I don't know, they're going okay, I guess, for now.
Well, you've had your chances. When you've had your chances, Kevin, to close the door, that was a good example of that in there to get the guard on properly. Your first shot, you kind of just made sure that you didn't have the two scored against you, then you closed the door on them.
Yeah, well, Rick missed his draw, and I don't know when the last time Rick ever missed a draw was. So, you know, you take the breaks when they come, and well, it'd be good if a few more would come.
Yeah, that's a good example of how fast that end can turn around. If he's shot rock, then you have to play him. Now he has the draw to the forefoot.
Kevin, we feel a little bit of a momentum switch really coming towards your team. Any change in the strategy? You've been bringing them tighter in. Any change in that?
Well, I'm not sure about strategy change. We're just making a few more shots, and we're getting the odd break, and that's the way it goes.
We're playing now for $1,750. We wish you continued success. Thank you, Kevin.
Thanks.
7 and 8, $1,750 apiece, and then $2,500, and then $3,750 to close it out for a total prize money of $17,250 in this semifinal of the '94 McCain TSN Skins game. But you make your breaks too, Ray Linden, and when you talked to him, Kevin, the last time, he said, you know, gee whiz, we're not getting the stones in front of the tee line, you know, we're macing this. Then suddenly they did, and the game turned around for them.
Absolutely, but there have been some key misses by Rick Folk's team, and if you think back to that last end when Pat Ryan missed the takeout, not only did he miss the takeout he was attempting, but he almost made the situation worse because he left guards in a very bad position. And we talked about earlier, Ray, how you have to make sure there's a path open for your skip.
Well, yeah, and you're right, absolutely right, Linda. The key was that Rick Folk's draw, as Kevin mentioned, came too far. If it stops shot rock, then Kevin has to play it, and Rick gets a chance then at least to get himself a carryover.
Exactly.
Great. Don Bartlett. Yeah. As once again, Rick Folk with last rock will need two to pick up the skin of $1,750 here in this seventh hand.
Not too long.
Jerry Richard.
Corner guard. Nice shot by Don Bartlett, getting it just about a foot in front of the rings. But and a half.
Yeah. Come on. Right back.
Kevin's had a lot of success stealing, Linda, so he's just going to keep this format going.
Coming right behind that guard, since the folk stone slid way to the back of the rings, they're just going to come around with the in-turn. See if Kevin Martin can get one in there early and then try and plug up the holes.
We saw them over curling a little bit earlier, but not this time.
Because hockey season lasts until July, Micotin penetrates the skin to kill athlete's foot.
Chance for Jerry to sit right on top of this now. Just touch it back slightly.
Just a little more weight.
Just wouldn't curl.
Yeah, it's funny. Notice that.
But that's enough to go through the rings.
Yeah, it really was too heavy. You have to throw it there and let the sweepers carry it if the line is all right.
Kevin's going the same in-turn draw.
Hard. Line's good. Okay, there. Okay.
The interesting part is all that Rick Folk needs is one skin to turn this thing around again.
That's pretty good. Okay. That'll work.
Nice shot, James.
Boy, James, nice shot.
Too good draw by James. Draws.
Just back 8, wait. Back 8. Play it tight.
Bert Gretzinger. We have put a brush to this.
No, they're really taking a different path with their stones, and I don't know if it's just the release, the rotation of the rock. That did have more than back 8, though.
Well, the thing about that shot, though, you heard Rick Folk say, play it tight, because if you hit the front one, it's okay. You just can't miss it on that side. You can't miss it that way.
Same shot. Can't really do much on this side right now. Well, they can freeze to us. Yeah.
Well, a double.
Go with the out turn. Hey?
Go with that in turn again, maybe.
Yeah. Huh? I like this.
Okay.
I like this call better, too.
Whoa. A lot of room.
You don't have to be so quite exact with this turn, Linda. You can be top 8. You can freeze to the face of it yourself, which would be a great shot.
Hurry. Tight to the ring.
You can be top 12 foot is a good shot.
Come on. Come on.
Kevin Martin jumps out tight to the rings, and they'll just draw it in, top 12. Ed Wernick will be in the final of this year's Skins game. Who will he play? Volker Martin will have it for you. 2 p.m. Eastern Time. 1 p.m. Central. Frustration being shown by Rick now, eh?
Well, he was definitely a little upset at Jerry's second shot. I mean, it happens, but because he did yell down Linda, play it tight and get the front one. You cannot miss it on the outside like that. And And rightly so. I mean, that I know that would annoy any skip.
Line's nice.
And Jerry knows it too. It's not. It happens. It happens to all of us. But
Let it work.
you can't miss it that way. You got to miss it on the tight side. If
Well, even Bert there was a little bit full. He barely got contact with that rock. I think they lost a little bit of focus for whatever reason, and I think Rick's a little upset because he's trying to focus in. His shots are really tough at the moment.
Good. Nice shot, Kevin.
Kevin Park, center line guard.
Need a big peel from Pat here.
Yeah. Folk needs a little bit of help.
Now that'll help a little bit. It's a good shot.
See if I'll turn James through me.
A little higher now, though, he's pointing in.
Well, you got some room for air here. You can just get it a corner behind the long black one. The Folkestone. Covering the back two and the 4-foot.
Room. Let it work. Okay, you gotta get some curl here. Wow. Way out. When you see it move.
This is up to the brushers. They were saying wait till you see the movement and then get on it to make sure it's got the weight to be close to the rings.
Come on.
That's right.
Worked out well.
It just didn't tuck behind the long black one. It gives Pat Ryan a chance now to run his own stone back.
Same weight there, Pat.
Onto the 2 and the 4-foot. Rick Folk needs a big shot right here.
Now it's going to overcurl.
Bad delivery.
You heard him say bad delivery. I just didn't throw it well. I was referring to that stone.
Middle 8-foot thing.
I'm saying it was Jerry's stone. I think it was Bert's stone where he missed the.
That's right. I think
the front
it was.
one. Yeah. Where he was playing it tight and he wanted to at least get the front one.
The first of the skip stones, Kevin Martin. Looking to steal and in good position to do it.
Yeah, he's sitting nicely here. He's got
this yellow. Right here.
Right on the center line.
Just halfway. Okay then. Okay. Whoa. Whoa. Shot. A shot.
I'll say. Well, it's long enough. If you can just get by the front one, you can get it to the button.
Well, this is what you said earlier, Linda. Well, the setup shots have to give your skip something to work with, and it's keeping that 4-foot open, allowing him to get there. I mean, he can get there now, but it's a lot hard.
Yeah, it's a very little area to draw to, and he has to just get by the guard to make it.
And you got to make it this time.
Just a touch more.
That's right.
Yeah.
Same as last end. He didn't have a second chance.
He'll take that path away from you next time. Next time. He won the first 2 skins, and it's been blanked ever since. Rick Folk, first stone.
Wait only.
Wait, guys.
Wait only.
Move.
Wait only.
Oh, easy. Eli.
Whoa.
Yeah.
you're right. You can feel the frustration. Just a little, a little heavy.
Good, guys.
Is that weight and ice?
Well, they had to leave it, too. They brushed it a little bit early. I mean, I don't think they made that big a difference, maybe, but if you leave it, it might start to make a little move. Kevin makes a good guard here. I don't know what Rick's going to have, Linda. Maybe the wide outside one. But
A lot of room. Oh, it works. Oh,
Line's good.
oh, needs to bend. Needs to bend.
Let it curl. Let it pop for a minute.
Can't leave a hole.
Finish it. Yep. Hard.
Is there a hole there? I think there is, maybe.
Right there?
There's a hole there still, yeah?
I think so, yeah. Let's go with that. That'd be a better percentage, eh?
That's the ice you had.
I think the line was pretty good in that last one. So.
Yeah, it was.
Well, if he's got a hole there, it isn't very much.
Okay, this is the hole they're going to try and come through. You heard him say, is there a hole there? Pat agrees there is. He'll try and come through here. It's a better percentage than the other shot that he had, which was the one to raise that one back. And I agree, it is a better percentage. It's a small hole, but it is there.
The people that make these shots a lot are the ones that are able to block out the guards, because basically you're taking the same line to the button that you take even if there were no guards there. Of course, there may be a little bit of luck getting through the port, but if you throw to the broom and concentrate on the weight, you should make these.
It's got to move a little bit for him. It's not doing it.
Move your broom, Jerry. I can't see.
Really got to walk now.
Oh, it had perfect weight, too.
It did. It looked like he threw it very well. It just didn't break.
He just had the great weight, too.
Yep.
And Kevin Martin continues to be a thief in this semifinal of the McCain TSN Skins game. Another 1750. Uh-oh, it's getting desperate for Rick Folk. He's got to start pocketing some dollars or it could be over pretty soon.
McCain took your favorite sandwiches and put them in their pockets. Introducing new McCain ham and cheese and beef and cheddar super pockets.
Savor the flavors, 'cause it's a bite you really like.
All in a crust that's baked, not fried, so there's no leaks, no mess.
Fast to make and eat, it's a bite you really like.
New McCain super pockets. We filled up our pockets with the flavors you savor.
McCain!
Curlers, with the Hammer Broom, you will never lose a shot to a hair or straw again.
Every curler has had a good shot ruined by straw or push broom hair. The hammer eliminates debris and creates increased friction for better results.
The Hammer's easy-to-change faceplate suit different ice conditions.
The Hammer is the cleanest, most effective sweeping device our team has ever used.
For the location of a store near you, call 1-800-567-7757.
Every day, we touch the lives of thousands of Canadians. Last year, our employees earned almost $1 billion in salaries. Our suppliers and their employees earned over $5 billion. And we exported over $9 billion worth of products built here. To you, they're just components of your new car. But the sum of these parts is the livelihood of over 90,000 Canadians. At Chrysler, we're not just building cars, we're building Canada.
Martin and Folk in this second semifinal of the 94 McCain TSN Skins game. Folk off to a quick start, but then it's been all Kevin Martin, 6,000 to 3,250, but we still have $8,000 remaining in in the last 3 ends, 8, 9, and 10. So we're playing for $17.50 here in this 8th end. And once again, Folk, with the hammer, must score 2. And we're seeing this percentage of scoring more.
Steals it.
That's
Yeah,
right,
you're right.
yeah. It's changing around here.
Have to put a mask on that Kevin Martin pretty soon.
Yeah.
Well, that's one reason it's been difficult for Rick Folk's team to get many points going. Don Bartlett's played very well. He set up those guards nicely, and when they wanted to come into the rings, he was top 4 foot in the last few ends, so he's been playing very well.
Rick's changed a little bit here, though, Linda. You remember the last couple ends, he threw up a corner himself. He's now going behind the center line guard. This guard's a little bit further out than the previous two.
Front ring.
Here. Good. Shot. How about you?
Kevin's been doing a great job stealing, and he's just decided that's exactly how I'm going to play this game. I'm going to steal every end if I can. Keep the pressure on. He's going with the wide-out turn around the center line guard.
Line's good.
He could definitely remove that stone of Folks out of the rings, but he's had such great success stealing each end that I guess if it's not broken, why fix it?
Yep. That caught something.
All right. Yeah, probably wouldn't have buried it.
Because you don't stretch your toes during the 7th inning stretch. Mycotin penetrates the skin to kill athlete's foot.
Jerry Richard as we continue play here in the 8th for $1,750.
Yeah. Playing the little bump here.
Well, you can leave it, leave it.
It's an interesting call because he could have gone to the other side and just hit that rock on the nose, Linda.
Yeah, because it definitely gives chances for Kevin Martin now to play the same thing back with his stone, just bump it up or hit it on to shot rock.
Also, Kevin Martin is he's showing his hand. He's decided there's no question to steal, and he's been doing a great job of it.
Bump it up.
Could you apply the same tactic to championship play, or is this kind of let's steal, let's just try to steal? I mean, the free guard zone's in play here, or is it just in this situation?
Well, you got to remember though, under a normal curling game, the score counts.
Yeah.
So I mean, by taking those kind of chances when you don't have last rock in a normal curling game, the guy could score 4 or 5 against you.
Okay.
And here it doesn't matter if they score 4 or 5 against you.
That one also caught something. That's 2 in a row on that side. They haven't really gone out and scrubbed away to get the debris off. That's what Rick's going to try and do here. It happens very late. It's over the second hog line, I believe, when it actually happens. But it's 2 in a row, and it's very unfortunate.
Right there. There it goes.
Yeah. Bert Gretzinger.
No, Bert got this one out.
Kevin will hit this one now, I think, Linda. Yeah, absolutely.
On the nose.
Right on the nose is right. That was a golden opportunity for Rick Folk to be lying 3.
hit and roll behind that guard.
Hit and roll behind the guard, you heard Pat say. There's the indication.
Plane.
Got the roll. That's what he wanted. I think Kevin will play the run back. If he doesn't, he'll try and
Play
close
the raise,
it.
don't we?
Play the raise.
What do you want to do, Kev?
Play that raise straight back, I guess.
Okay.
I think so.
The nice thing about this is there isn't a lot of distance between the stones, so it's not so difficult to make contact and get rid of that folk rock.
That's kind of, and that's really the reason too that you're playing it, Linda, because it is nice and close, and it's not.
Clean. Yep.
Kevin Park.
Whoa, and he got the guard too, or a half guard.
Pete.
I throw about bumper.
All right.
Hit and roll behind the wide corner guard, the one out just above the 12-foot.
That's a great shot.
That is a lovely shot. Kevin will play the raise now. I think he'll go for the steal. He's got a chance to split them to lie 2.
Here, there, a straight bump. I don't mind straight bump, actually.
They pretty well had to play this one to get rid of the shot rock because it was in the 4-foot. And they decided to go for the big roll, hoping that they'll have a chance later to count that point.
Kevin was talking about the split on this rock, and then Kevin Park said, okay, come on, we'll play the straight bump back, bump it right back into this area here. They talked about the split first of all.
Room. Lot of room.
Kevin Park's second stone on its way here in the 8th, playing for $1,750.
It's hanging and he's got a little extra weight, so they were hoping for the split, but it's got to make contact first.
Nothing.
It's got a lot of weight.
All right.
Rick can't leave that
Same
there.
kind of weight.
Yeah, okay. We have to roll, eh?
Has to roll to be in.
Yeah. Yeah, any kind of a roll we're on.
Roll the other way, huh? You want to roll across it?
No.
Wider?
Yeah.
Other way.
Good rock.
Geez, a lot of mud. That's actual mud.
I don't know where you're going to find the mud. There's snow out there.
It's actual dirt. It's actual dirt on the ice. Even behind the pin's fine, yeah. Looks like you were throwing yours good.
Line's good.
Okay, line's good. Little tight.
Little tight now. Clean. Clean. Hurry! Hurry now. Hard. Real hard. Real hard. Quick. Hard.
Got this by.
Oh.
Boy, that would have been just sunk.
Yeah. Just the rub.
Just the back end of it almost. Looks like it was by it. Now watch now.
Yeah.
Just a tiny touch.
Just straighten
And
it
it
up.
had the perfect weight.
Sure did.
Let's throw a good hack.
Well, this is one of those opportunities, Linda. Got to make this one, get a little roll.
Looking for that roll.
Pretty nice, eh?
Yeah.
Well, this time I'll get it by, Kevin says.
I think that's why Rick was hoping his rock wouldn't roll quite so far that he might entice Kevin into trying a tap or a hit, because this draw has been tried, and he was thinking the next time Kevin might make it just perfectly.
The only thing about it to come around is that you always do have your own black rock to raise back if he does get it buried perfectly. That's one consolation for Rick.
Final stone for Kevin Martin, Rick Folk.
Line's good. A little tight. Yeah.
Needing to score 2 to pick up this $1,750 skin.
Give it room this time. Room. There. Room. Hold bunch of room.
Don Bartlett, James Paul. Rub this time? No. Now they back off. Let it bend. Take it back as far as they can.
See a corner of it. See almost half the stone.
Rick Folk will need to score 2 to pick up the money.
Just has to touch it back.
No. I think I can even throw a bit more. So we got to move it a fair bit. Yeah. Okay. About there?
Yeah. Talking about the weight, he's got to hit this.
You're
Talking about just driving it back into this area here.
My last one, isn't it?
How much?
Pat indicated about back 8-foot weight. I think Rick said, I think we could throw a little bit more than that. We've got to move it. Big shot, Linda.
You always worry with these because you've seen the draw come down and bend nicely as it got to the guard.
Play to pick it out of there.
Pardon?
Should we just play the pick?
You want to throw the same weight as your last one?
Yeah.
What I was going to say is
tighten her up there.
that little bit extra weight makes it go much straighter. And it is almost easier, as Rick is saying, to try and get rid of it completely and count the 2 black that are in the house at the moment than try and get your shooter to come down and make that quiet tap and stay. It just will take a totally different path with that little bit different weight.
He's going to step his weight up in here now.
Final stone looking to regroup after giving up 4 straight skins.
He's got extra weight.
He had to cut the ice right down.
Going to catch anything? No, all the way by. And it's a steal again for Kevin Martin, as it has gone from bad to worse for Rick Folk. Another $1,750. And now the difference is $4,500. And Rick Folk will be desperate to win a skin when we come back.
Super
crisp, super spirals. McCain, what have you done to my fries?
We've spiced them up.
All right.
We've crisped them up. Brilliant. We've even curled them up.
Excellent.
McCain has taken its famous super fries, dipped them in light batter, and surrounded them with bite after bite of crispy, crunchy, super spicy satisfaction. Straight ahead or curled around. Super crisps and super spirals from McCain. You'll love what we've done to your fries.
When they saw the first fiberglass skis or the first graphite tennis racket, some people laughed.
They'll never laugh.
And when some people first saw the hammer, they had the same reaction.
Get serious. Where's the straw?
Then, two-time Canadian and world champions Ed Wernick and Russ Howard chose the hammer.
The quick-change faceplates provide greater control under all types of ice conditions.
The hammer is the most effective sweeping device I've ever used.
Now who's laughing? For more information, call 1-800-567-7757.
The franchise player, a perennial all-star, the repeat champion, great repeat performances is brought to you by Dynacharge. For up to 1,000 great repeat performances, get Dynacharge rechargeable batteries. Who is the youngest goalie to win a Stanley Cup? As a 21-year-old rookie, he led the Montreal Canadiens to the 1986 Stanley Cup. Twice he's won the Conn Smythe Trophy as playoff MVP. 3 times he's taken the Vezina Trophy as the league's best goalie. Patrick Roy has established himself as one of the great repeat performers in NHL history. This great repeat performance was brought to you by Dynacharge rechargeable batteries. Look for great repeat performance trivia contest details wherever you see these Dynacharge displays.
Canada's oldest and only national monthly curling publication just got better. To subscribe to the Curling News, now a magazine, call this toll-free number, 1-800-553-8003. Canadian Curling News, now it's a magazine. Rick Folk's final stone, he had a chance to score his deuce for the skin, but he changed his mind. Was that the problem?
Well, what Lynn and I don't like about it is that changing his mind is fine. I mean, he decided maybe this is an easier shot, but he didn't come down the ice and change or do much about the ice. He didn't talk about the ice. Pat hardly moved his broom very much, and I think that Rick maybe should have just taken a little time to come down the ice and check the ice over. I don't think there was anything wrong with the shot he was playing because he could see half at the stone. But
yeah, I really like that call. But as you say, they didn't talk about the ice or the weight very much. They said about here and about the last weight and went on about their business.
Well, we've been throwing intern guards all game here, though.
So as we go to this 9th end, we're playing for $2,500. It is a must-win for Folk, or at least force a carryover, because the difference in money right now is $4,500.
Ball, let it bend, let it bend. Okay. Ball. Not too tight. Too tight.
Shot, Donnie. Shoot, Donnie. Shot.
Well, Bartlett has been absolutely terrific. I mean, we talked before and have in the past about how the game's changed free guard zone for a lead, and he hasn't let him down, right?
No, he's played wonderfully well.
So he's asked to throw up the center line guard with his first stone, and now asked to come around.
Whoa, a lot of room. Line's not too bad. A lot of room. A lot of room, guys. There it goes. Hip. Hey!
You can just see how much movement there is late in the curl. As it's going down the ice, the hog line, it's still way out in the edge of that yellow band, and then it just takes a left turn.
Hack weight.
Quiet. All right, back ring. Ring. How much weight? Ring. 3 hard. 3 hard. Got half. Hurry. 3 hard. Hurry.
No.
Now that was a lot less weight than they wanted.
Okay. All right.
Okay. Yeah, Rick wanted hack weight there.
Bert and James in their little personal battle, or?
Well, those are below average for both those players. At this level, you usually see, you know, the high 70s and 80s.
He's good. Lost the room.
Wait. Lost the room.
Guard.
Yeah, guard be good.
We're tight. We're in the rings.
But just leave it. Just leave it. Leave it die.
Now we're just short.
No, it's not going to bury it all.
Okay, not bad.
That's not too bad.
Good.
Nice straight shot on that.
Right on the nose.
Right in the head.
Right on the nose, and you'll pick that yellow one right out of there.
Well, Bert would like a couple back that he's thrown really badly with his out turn, so maybe he can make a big one here.
Right on the nose.
Good
There
shot.
you
There you go, Bert Gretzinger. Bails his team out right there.
Bump.
I think he threw this one pretty well. He was quite pleased with it, and they swept it well. Good line call and got this straight back.
Right there.
Well, Folk with the hammer, of course, has got it set up to get his deuce.
Through. That's weight.
Oh.
It's a raise.
No. No line. No line. No line. No. All right.
That'll peek out the other side just a little bit, maybe quarter of a stone, half a stone. But it's a skin that Folk must have.
I don't know.
Or at least force the carryover.
They're going to try it again. This time it's their stone. Straight back.
Yep. 3. Yeah. Hard. 3 eyes. 3. Yeah. 3 up.
Oh, good shot.
Bert Gretzinger, after struggling a little bit, comes back with a couple of nice stones.
Turn to the pin, I believe.
Better get to that hole, Kevin Park says. Pretty even matchup.
Room. Line's pretty good. Whoa.
Not a room.
It's not
Light. See the light?
No.
Not doing a thing.
Light's okay. Light's okay.
Not bad. Okay.
Well, that is that spot that showed up earlier where it goes quite straight on that out turn.
You threw that good, didn't you?
Well, I thought I even started it, if anything.
Oh, it looked pretty good. Just clean. It was nice.
Oh, the regular? Easy. Clean.
Right in the nose is a nice shot. Hit and roll is there.
Right here. I kind of like the hole this time. Huh? I kind of like the hole this time.
Okay, they talked about this hit and roll rolling into this area here. I'm just going to clear this for you for a minute because I think you heard Kevin say I like the hole a little bit so he could just draw right into this area here, right there.
A few feet more weight.
Would you not, Lyndon, like the hit and the roll over so it's behind more stones?
I think he's just trying to wait a bit on that one. The nice thing about playing the draw, yes, there's trying for the hole, but if he happened to feather that outside one, even with draw weight, it'll roll in nicely into that area.
Room.
Gonna go for weight pretty quick.
Boy, is that straight.
Hard. Quick.
That's what Linda was talking about.
Wow. Yeah.
Well, as Linda mentioned before, these rocks are nice and tight together, so this should be straight hit back for Pat Ryan.
Yes.
Hit it on the nose.
That's a pretty good line.
Pat Ryan, his second stone here in 9.
Oh. Playing.
It's got to come over.
Always give it a boot. Well, a little less, huh?
Just had to curl a little bit more for him.
Oh.
Hey?
Served the purpose.
Yeah, good job.
Well, things are looking a little bit up, though. They've got 2 rocks in there.
Yeah. Well, they had a good chance last end, too, Linda,
That's right.
to win that skin.
I just don't want to rack. This one doesn't really matter much.
Well, folks, percentage indicative of the kind of shots he's been forced to play, especially early when
Hurt. Line's good.
Hey, room.
Kevin Martin went on that string of steals.
Line's good. Room.
A great line
at the end.
Shot.
Sorry, guys.
Pretty nice shot.
Yeah, straight draw.
Yeah, he just got there with draw weight.
Straight draw, yeah. About the middle of the 8, a little bit more. Yeah. Straight draw.
Rick Folks settling in for his first stone here in 9. $2,500 is the skin.
This is a very, very, very big shot. Rick knows it. If he can get this glued right on the face of that one, if he doesn't get his 2, at least he can get the carryover to miss this, and you're going to have a tough shot with your next one.
Yeah, that's the key, too. Is he either wins it or forces the carryover. He's got to have one or the other.
Has to be in there for shot rock. Whether or not it's frozen or not isn't as critical. It has to be shot.
Yeah, it certainly does.
Don't touch it. Don't move it.
Lovely shot.
Shot.
Yeah.
Well, I think if Kevin just
same weight.
comes to it and just touches it a few inches,
Well, no, there's separation, eh?
he could be shot.
He can definitely be shot, and it would be very difficult to get it out of there.
Well, 1 or 2 doesn't really make any difference. You bet.
That was the question that the front end asked. Are we shot rock if we hit it on the nose? You heard Kevin say, you bet. Just a draw.
Final stone for the skip from the Otwell Curling Club in Edmonton.
Yep. Where's the weight? Line's good. Rub now. Rub. Off as you can. Close. Whoa. Hold it. Come on. Cut a bump. Good.
Whoa. Now is he, though?
I don't know if he is.
I don't know if it curled enough.
Dear.
Good shot.
Yeah. It's a good shot, right? No, I think Focus shot.
Now this is a gamble. If it's close enough.
So Rick thinks that Martin shot.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's right.
Yeah, if you look at the pinhole in the middle out to the stone.
Yeah, you're right.
Okay, let's figure out a shot.
And just. Absolutely just.
It's better, this one.
Both teams have their timeouts available to them if they feel they're getting into time trouble.
This one kills the back one. That one doesn't.
Yeah.
This is a better one.
Yeah. All right. Go with the regular weight, eh?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, this is the game for Rick right here.
You catch about half.
Yeah,
that was the
two-thirds,
trouble of being deep with your last one, but a great shot by Kevin Martin.
Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah. It's good.
Rick Folk getting ready. Final stone. Must have it. Got to force the carryover.
You got to give Kevin Martin a lot of credit. He made a couple of great shots last 2 or 3 ends. That's 2 terrific draws.
Catch the outside, drive it across. Did he move it enough? Yes! Oh my, what a great shot to keep himself alive and force the carryover here in the 9th end. Rick Folk pulled the foot out of the grave. And so when we come back, we'll play for everything. The game will be on the line. Martin Folk here in Saskatoon.
While in Saskatoon, the McCain TSN Skins Game competitors have been the guests of the Delta Vespero, Saskatoon's best hotel. Team clothing provided by Adidas. The game comes first. TSN Sports Radio is heard on Sun 102 FM in Saskatoon.
Curlers, with the Hammer broom, you will never lose a shot to a hair or straw again.
Every curler has had a good shot ruined by straw or push broom hair. The hammer eliminates debris and creates increased friction for better results.
The Hammer's easy-to-change faceplate suit different ice conditions.
The Hammer is the cleanest, most effective sweeping device our team has ever used.
For the location of a store near you, call 1-800-567-7757.
Shave Micro Groove. True closeness, true comfort. The Philishave Micro Groove, our closest shave ever.
Peter Cooper prepares himself for a virtual reality test drive in the Eagle Vision TSI. And he's off. The subject is now experiencing a quickening of the pulse caused by Eagle Vision's powerful 214 horsepower 24-valve engine. Peter loves the incredible road handling and speed-sensitive steering of this Ford sedan so much he's already on his 35th lap. But in fact, only a real test drive will convince you of the advanced technology of the Eagle Vision TSI. Get out.
Curlers, with the Hammer broom, you will never lose a shot to a hair or straw again.
Every curler has had a good shot ruined by straw or push broom hair. The hammer eliminates debris and creates increased friction for better results.
The hammer's easy to change faceplates to different ice conditions.
The hammer is the cleanest, most effective sweeping device our team has ever used.
For the location of a store near you, call 1-800-567-7757.
Maybe we just saw the TSN Turning Point. Stay with us right after the game for the Turning Point, brought to you by Sony.
Dad doesn't know, but this commercial is being shot with our new Sony Handycam. We entered Sony's Walt Disney World contest, and here we are with all my favorite characters. Why don't you enter Sony's Picture Perfect Family Vacation contest and win a trip to Walt Disney World Resort? You can stay at Disney's Grand Floridian Beach Resort. Delta Airlines, the official airline of Walt Disney World, will get you there. Get your dad to an authorized Sony of Canada dealer and keep him away from the candy floss.
There's no doubt for Rick Folk, this possibly the game saver.
It was a fantastic shot. It's all over if he doesn't make this. It looks for a middle end that it's going to curl too much, but he just catches the corner of it. They hold it a bit. He catches it on the outside and just ticks the Yellowstone. Enough to get the carryover.
Straight sideways.
Yeah, absolutely.
So now we go to this 10th and final end. We're playing for $6,250. And for the first time in 5 ends, Martin has last rock. So we'll see if it turns around here.
That's right. It hasn't really helped Rick to have last rock, so we might as well give it a try with a steal.
Good shot by Jerry.
Bartig, let's get him.
Not going to waste any time here, is he? He's going right in.
Now he wants to.
Weight's not bad.
Ball, clean it.
We're there. Clean. There and
Clean
then.
it.
Whoa, a lot of room, Ton of weight. It's not heavy, eh? It's T-line plus.
That's one of the first mistakes Don's made in a long time. We talked about the importance of staying in front of the tee line, using your rocks later in the end if needed to tap up into the 4-foot. This gives Rick a chance now to come around top 8-foot, top 4-foot.
Good point, Linda. He really hasn't made many little mistakes like that. And that stone is sitting in a pretty good spot for Rick Folk. Now, if he gets a rock in front of it.
Matt. Yeah, all the way. Too close.
A little too deep, maybe, for Jerry Richard. The winner of the game will play Ed Wernick in the final of this 94 McCain TSN Skins game. You'll see it here from the Nutana Curling Club, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central.
Well, the weight was fine for Jerry and Linda.
Yeah.
It just didn't curl.
Didn't make the move that Don's did.
High! Come on. High! High!
Don Bartlett.
Now the outturn draw, or is he going to hit this and roll? He's going to play the hit and roll.
Throw about bumper.
Bert Gretzinger. A couple of nice stones in that 9th. Help keep folk alive.
Slow down.
What are you thinking just off the nose? Huh? Let's go here.
Could play the raise, too.
Kevin Park's referring to the straight back raise. Black onto black.
James Paul.
Just going to try and angle freeze it on the front stone. The stone's sitting just inside the forefoot. This is really moving quickly now.
Hurry. Hurry. Roll it off. Roll it off. Come on. Come on. Roll it off. Roll it off. It's all right. Okay. Long is good. It'll come in.
Well, they like to plug the hole.
Play.
Well, let go.
Play.
Hot.
Play.
Gotta move.
Tight. Play. Play.
One.
Play. Clean it.
Go front ring. One.
Clean it. No, just clean. Just clean. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Side up.
How about?
Puts a cap on that poke stone, biting the top of the floor. Stay with us right after this semifinal. For Sports Desk, Teresa Hergert, Gino Retta will have it for you here on TSN.
Hit this right in the crotch. 5 will likely go out the top.
You can get action on all three of these stones if you hit it right in the crotch. This way, and this way.
Hard.
James Paul.
Very nice.
Great shot is right. Got a ball off.
Well thrown, well swept, and well called. Right as Ray drew it.
Right in the crotch, yeah.
And just as the drag driver he is, great elapsed time there.
So this guard has to be perfect. You can't leave an opening for Kevin Martin to get at that shot rock.
Line's perfect.
Oh, Gary.
Just clean. Just clean.
That's what it is. Perfect.
Rada. Huh?
Drive it straight back or just open it up?
Just get it open, really, basically. If he happens to hit it a little bit off the center line, I think basically he's just trying to get it off. Make him throw it perfect again.
Kevin Park.
Hurry. Oh. Hurry. Oh.
They throw those with so much spin that even if they do hit it close to center, they get great roll off the shooter.
All right, Kev. Thought that would cut in at the end.
If we do carry over this skin, 62.50, then they'll draw to the button to see who wins and goes on to play Ed Wernick.
Good long. Clean. Line's fit. Down bet. Fit.
Oh, just clean it.
Okay, just clean it. Clean it. Clean all of it.
Kind of weight. Here.
Too long to be great help, Linda?
It does leave an opening to come by it because there's great curl at the end. It just moved that folk stone at the front of the forefoot. It's a pretty good guard, though. If you bring it too tight, they play the run-through, so you don't have a lot of options with those.
He feels he can play it with just back 8-foot weight, move it enough to lie to. It's one of those shots that you have to make here too, Linda. If you don't, then Rick Folk has a chance to really close it up on you.
Hurry.
Hard, hard. Hard line. Hard.
It looks nice. They really brushed that hard too. Just too much brushing, I guess.
Still leaves Folk. Line 1, T-line, 4 foot, and a timeout's been called by Folk. That one would be enough. Looking to steal.
Well, the big thing is he doesn't want to give up 2, Vic.
No. Got 2 kickers in here now.
Get it right here. Thanks, I.
Yeah? Oh, yeah.
Leeway. We can't come back. And if it stops up here, I can bump it up next time.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Where do you like it?
I think we'll come with you. Right about there.
Okay.
Well, this is where the strategy is a little bit different. If you had to go for a steal, you might look at capping your own. But when you want to make sure that they at least don't get 2, this is where you start to look at bringing your stone into the rings.
Yeah, I would play the guard for sure. He's going to play the out-turn draw. He wants it to the 4 foot behind the long center guard.
Full front 4.
Full front 4. He wants it right in this area here, down here like so, right there. Remember, this is a long guard out here.
Really? That was a minute.
There's a guard we're talking about.
Nice.
It's exciting now, doesn't it?
Yeah, right.
Well, it's all on the line here in 10.
You're sweeping this for a line.
Not going to rub here. He just got by. Full front 4 is what he wanted.
Now, we can see Pat didn't want it back any further, otherwise it leaves a double for Kevin Martin on the other side.
Probably, yep. Boards? Sure.
This is very, very close.
Not a lot of light between those rocks.
Yeah, we couldn't we?
Yeah.
Because if we leave them there, we're dead.
Do you hear that guard?
Yeah.
Tight.
Yeah, just hack the board.
Slid, eh?
Where's the ice?
Okay.
I wanted to make sure I was in full 4.
Well, he's going to try and hit the shot rock just by getting by the front, the long guard, very, very narrow.
Yeah, that's why Pat didn't want them to sweep it that
exactly
far.
right.
I mean, once it got by, he was saying to whoa.
Just going to get by this one here and trying to hit this one in here, and then if he stays out, you'll get this one here. He's got to get it now.
Stay close. Yep. Close. Yep. Hard. Hard. Oh, real hard. Come on!
James Paul's on Bartlett. Got it by. Moved one. Moved them both. Great shot. Timeout now called by Folk, number 2.
There.
Well, they swept it well.
Yeah, I think it was just.
They didn't have a lot of room on that guard either when it actually got there, but when he knew if he got by the guard, the angle on those two would be just right, and it was.
Right in there?
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, whereabouts are we?
We were.
Right there? That was a little tight, wasn't I?
Not bad.
Yeah. can afford to at least go that much.
Yeah.
We don't have to be that tight by the guard.
No, true. Same out-turn draw.
No, straight freeze all the way.
And if he's freezing to the back one.
Just trying to force the carryover
Yeah.
now,
Yeah.
negating the 2 rocks that are in the 4-foot.
Yeah.
Pressure shot, matched by pressure shot, and now it's back in his hands, Rick Folk.
Straight freeze.
Well, these are the kind of shots that Linda talked about earlier. These are his kind of shots. $6,250.
Yeah,
This stone right here.
The chance to win a pile more.
Yeah. They're playing the freeze all the way. You heard him say, just the freeze. Playing the freeze.
Right up to it.
Right up to it, you heard him say.
Good shot.
So he's in for shot stone. Now, Kevin Martin, what are you going to do?
That really curled.
Good ever.
Across the center line, he thought it would hang enough to go right back on the one in the back.
Yeah, timeout.
Second now for Martin.
Well,
you know, that intern might come enough to bump it out.
Huh?
Intern might come enough to come across the face.
Yeah, I think Kevin's right.
Or just one.
Or we go to the out-turn.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't like the out-turn. No, it's pretty tricky. Out-turn's tricky. It could hang and just stay there. Put the intern bump, and if it doesn't come enough, we only get one. Try to bump it to here.
As Linda said, it curled a little too much, and I think the intern shot's there, Linda. So the long guard out in front, he just has to get it by, and he has to come down into this area here, come across, and just touch it back into this area here to score his 2. Just got to get by the front one, the long front one.
You really think he can carry enough weight to do that, huh?
Yeah, I think he can. I think he's got enough room. It's a long guard, Dick.
Right.
I mean, it's a very difficult shot. You'll see it coming into play now. There's the stone we're talking about. And there's been lots of late movement in the ice surface, so I think with that back 4-foot or back 8-foot weight, if he just gets by the guard, he can get enough movement to move it back.
But what he's thinking also in the back of his mind is he can't cut it too close to that guard because he has to make sure he gets at least one.
Gets the one, that's right.
Forced to carry over, but he thinks he can move it enough to score his 2 and pick up the skin for the win. Now,
Sting out.
Walk over now. No, it won't. But he'll get the 1 to force the carryover of $6,250. And so we will take a break. When we come back, we'll have a draw to the button to see who goes on to play Ed Wernick in the final of this 94 McCain TSN Skins game. Who will it be, Martin or Folk, when we come back to Saskatoon?
Today's telecast brought to you in part by Air Canada. Air Canada is proud to bring you from here to there and places in between. And by Cantel's Amigo, the first cellular phone to bring you affordable peace of mind.
I'll call. Hello?
Hi. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas.
I love you too, Dad.
Cantel Amigo at these fine stores.
When they saw the first fiberglass skis or the first graphite tennis racket, some people laughed.
They'll never laugh.
And when some people first saw the hammer, they had the same reaction.
Get serious. Where's the straw?
Then, two-time Canadian and world champions Ed Wernick and Russ Howard chose the hammer.
The quick-change faceplates provide greater control under all types of ice conditions.
The hammer is the most effective sweeping device I've ever used.
Now who's laughing? For more information, call 1-800-567-7757.
At Mr. Stubbs,
fresh thinking means a chance to win the Touchdown in Hawaii contest. All you need to enter is a Mr. Sub sandwich bag and you can touch down in the surf and sand of a beautiful Hawaiian beach. And you'll get 2 tickets to see some great touchdowns as the best pros of the world play their annual Hawaiian Classic. So if you'd love to go to Hawaii, and if you like football, then come on in and pick up a delicious sandwich, a Mr. Sub bag and entry form, and you could win a trip for 2 to Hawaii. At Mr. Sub, fresh thinking is what we are.
So I'm channel surfing when it occurs to me, I wouldn't mind hitting one of those fashion TV shows in Paris. You know, I'd find out what's in, find out what's out. That'd be cool. And who knows, maybe someone over there would appreciate the enduring qualities of a true Canadian lager. Hey, trendy colors come and go. Me, I prefer blue.
TSN Turning Point, brought to you by Sony. And for the first time ever, this will be a live turning point, because we know that the game is on the line here. It's the draw to the button. Interestingly, too, because of the seedings and the draw to the button before this all began to seed the teams, Folk is seeded number 2, Martin 3rd, and Rick Folk is elected to draw first.
Right.
Pressure? Is that what he's doing? He's saying, here, Kevin, let me...
I'll make it, and then it's up to you to make it.
Yep.
There's so much pressure on the brushers and on these kind of shots, Linda. This is really where experience and your ability to be able to read releases and understand the weight. And Jerry and Bert, they're the ones that will make this.
They're taking the same turn they took in the draw competition earlier, the out turn. We've seen it a lot.
For 62.50 and the game. Going to cover the pin. Going to get a piece of it. Oh, he's within a few centimeters of
Bert's a little disappointed in himself because he felt they should have got it right to the hole.
I think they were waiting a little bit on the line, trying to let it break so that it would get to the pin.
Pretty good shot.
Looking like a freezer back and stopped in the top 4. That's okay. I mean, what? You came, what, 2 inches short? It had a little wider path, too.
Yeah, it was a little bit fuller.
That's what Linda said. They kind of left it because it was staying out a little bit. Bert felt he could have got it right to the hole.
Other turn.
Taking the other turn.
That's interesting.
Taking another turn.
Thank you.
We're all surprised. This was the last one that Kevin threw, the in-turn tap that he tried.
That's a beauty. What's the fade for?
Should have been right on.
I think a lot of skips out there would take that one, but Rick wished he'd gotten it right to the pin.
I think I'll tell you after this shot.
That's right.
We're told by umpire Doug Maxwell approximately 3 inches.
Nice line.
About 8.5 centimeters.
He's close, boys. Real good line. Hurry.
Skip Kevin Martin likes it for 62.50. It's got to be there for the win.
Oh, it's close.
It's got to be there for the win.
They got to get it there now.
Paul, can they drag it there? Can they drag it enough?
No.
And now this.
And Rick Folk has picked up the $6,250, and he will make it into the Skins game final and face Ed Wernick. That is your TSN Turning Point. A cash donation will be made to the Canadian Coaches Association for the training and development of amateur athletes on behalf of TSN and Sony. The new Sony V Series Trinitron. A remarkable finish. He looked like he was absolutely dead midway through this game.
That's it.
Rick Folk has pulled it out and will be in the final of the 94 McCain TSN Skins game here in Saskatoon.
McCain took your favorite sandwiches and put them in their pockets. Introducing new McCain ham and cheese and beef and cheddar super pockets.
Savor the flavors, 'cause it's a bite you really like.
All in a crust that's baked, not fried, so there's no leaks, no mess.
Fast to make and eat, it's a bite you really like.
New McCain super pockets. We filled up our pockets with the flavors you savor.
McCain!
I'll call. Hello?
Hi. I just wanted to say Merry Christmas.
I love you too, Dad.
Cantel Amigo at these fine stores.
When they saw the first fiberglass skis or the first graphite tennis racket, some people laughed.
They'll never laugh.
And when some people first saw the hammer, they had the same reaction.
Get serious. Where's the straw?
Then, two-time Canadian and world champions Ed Wernick and Russ Howard chose the hammer.
The quick-change faceplates provide greater control under all types of ice conditions.
The hammer is the most effective sweeping device I've ever used.
Now who's laughing? For more information, call 1-800-567-7757.
After introducing the very friendly, very quick, and very safety-conscious four-door Neon, we thought you'd get a kick out of this little number. Say hello to the Neon Sport Coupe, if you can catch it. Neon, available in regular and new extra spicy. Now at your Dodge and Plymouth dealers.
Hurlers, with the Hammer broom, you will never lose a shot to a hair or straw again.
Every curler has had a good shot ruined by straw or push broom hair. The hammer eliminates debris and creates increased friction for better results.
The Hammer's easy to change faceplates suit different ice conditions.
The Hammer is the cleanest, most effective sweeping device our team has ever used.
For the location of a store near you, call 1-800-567-7757.
The 1994 McCain TSN Skins game is brought to you by McCain Foods, Canada's international food leader. It came down to a draw to the button. And Rick Folk got within 6 inches. Picked up his $6,250 to beat Kevin Martin. And so it will be Rick Folk against Ed Wernick in the final of this McCain TSN Skins game. Sunday afternoon, 2 p.m. Eastern Time, 1 p.m. Central. Rick Folk, $9,500 to $7,750 for Kevin Martin. Now on behalf of Linda, Ray, and our entire crew, I'm Vic Crowder. Thanks for joining us. Goodbye from Saskatoon. Stay with us now for Sports Desk here on TSN.
This is TSN.